Hey, what's going on everybody? Go ahead and let me know if you can hear me, everything sounds all right. I decided to introduce some music into the stream, thought it might be, a little more lively, a little more fun. Welcome to today's Godot Q&A session. Very excited. Again, this is in part to promote the Go Godot Game Jam, which I am hosting along with Adrian of Redefined GameDev and a ton of other fantastic Godot YouTubers whom I'm humbled to be just a part of that team. And yeah, so I've linked the jam page in the description. I've also linked the GitHub repo for all the solutions that we're gonna be going over today down in the description as well. So tell me if those should be there. Let me know if they're not, and then I'll link to them elsewhere. But yeah, so really excited to get started today. I'm pretty quiet compared to the really loud music. All right, that is very good feedback. I set the music to be very low, but maybe I'll just shut off the music? I don't know. Let's just put it down to like real low here, like -50. You probably can't even hear that. But yeah, so tell me how that is, everybody, because I definitely want you guys to be able to hear me. Just a little something to kind of ease out the monotony in between pauses when I'm just typing stuff. But anyway, yeah, so let me know how that is. Let me know how other people feel about it. Very interested to get that going. So the first thing we're going to be doing today, I pinned it to the top, so I don't know if everyone else can see it, is a question by Matthew Paul. So there's two questions. One, how to do slow time for a bullet effect. I'm assuming like, in Red Dead Redemption, you can slow down, then kind of like aim and stuff like that. So how you would do something like that. How do we create pause menus that stop the world from advancing, but still allow players to interact with the menus? So both really great questions. So that's fine as well. Okay, I think I'll pump it up a tiny bit though. Can anyone hear it? Because it doesn't look like it's even audible from the dB scale right now. This is at -45, so I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Let me know if anyone thinks that's too loud. So I'm glad that that's okay. So anyway, what I've done to set up for that, and I think I will answer the pause game question. Actually, we'll do the slow time one first, because it's actually really cool. And I did not actually know how to do this before he asked that question, but Godot makes it really, really simple. So I'm glad he asked it ahead of time. But it was, yeah, like I said, it was very, very simple. So preemptively this time I've made some basic stuff. I made a player sprite. This is very similar to our class that we made in the last Q&A session. Okay. Yeah, cool. There's no music. Okay, good to know, because this should be probably about there. And then you should just faintly hear some nice tunes by DOS88, who is definitely not partnered with. I just love his music. It's a lot of free stuff on itch.io, and I use it in basically all of my games. Anyway, he's a really nice guy. You should check out his channel. Okay, good, all right. So I've made this really simple player script. Again, this is from the second Q&A. I basically stole it. Here's the script, although this is not super duper important. Essentially, it just, if I run it, you can see, oopsies, this should not be there. That was my testing bit right there. Save that and run this. You see, I can move this guy around the screen, and also if I click or press the spacebar, I can shoot bullets, right? So it's very simple. This follows the mouse. You can also press space, yeah. So that's how that goes. Both these things I just made using the icon sprite. Here's the code for that movement. Again, it's going to be there, but it's very simple. I'll quickly go over that. So we're doing the exact same input as I went over in the last Q&A. If you have questions about this, feel free to let me know. Where we're just taking the input, and then we're moving in the direction of that input times some speed. In this case, it's 1,000 at an acceleration of 100. So thus it takes 10 frames, which is a sixth of a second to get up to full speed. I've got a function called aim, where I'm just rotating the gun, which is just the sprite, to look at the mouse position. That's how I'm doing that. And then we're doing shoot. So in shoot, which is going to be a function, you can see I'm placing all these functions, movement, aim, and shoot in the physics process. We're constantly querying if input.action, just press shoot, which is a input I added to the input map here, right? And it's the mouse left click button or space. Again, ask me if you don't know how to do that. And then I'm instantiating a bullet at the gun position, which is just a 2D position that is right here. And the reason I use the position 2D for barrels like this is because we're constantly rotating this barrel. And so typically, like if I'm just gonna have the position to be in front of the character no matter what, I will just use like, oh, vector2d dot, you know, whatever this is. Like, it looks like something like 50, 50 almost. Yeah, probably something like 50, 50, no, I mean 0, 50, 0, 50, x 0, anyway. X is 50, Y is 0. So 50, 0. But this is nice because when the barrel rotates, you can just grab that position and you don't have to worry about rotating that position, you just stick it there. So I think that's great. And then, so all we do is instantiate a bullet at that position, and we set its rotation to our gun's rotation, and then we add that child. And I'm using call deferred here because I've recently found out, and I think this is actually pretty helpful, that you should basically always use call deferred when adding children. And if you've been using Godot for a while, you'll realize that sometimes when you do an add child, it'll say like something like, oh, you know, the stack is too full, can't do this while flushing queries, blah, blah, blah. And that is just because essentially you're trying to do add child like right at the start. You're trying to basically force it on top of a physics frame where there might not be room, there might be too much stuff happening. So doing call deferred is just a great way to make sure you don't get those errors, and you'll never notice a difference in your game. And in fact, I also learned this. If you don't know the queue free function, right? You know, that's how you kill stuff. You do queue free, right? And you can also use just the free function. And before free, there wasn't a queue free, there was only free, but you should basically have always used call deferred free. So much so that they just made it queue free because they didn't want people freeing stuff unless you really know what you're doing. So anyway, that's, you know, my little rant, and that's how this goes. And then quickly I'll go over the bullet. The bullet is just, you know, we got a physics process where we're adjusting our global position plus equals vector2.right rotated rotation normalized times our speed, which is a constant of 5,000 times delta. Now, this might be a little concerning to some people. Essentially, I'm saying vector2.right means in this direction, and then we rotate it to whatever rotation is. So when we spawn the bullet, we tell, as you can see right here, in the shoot, we say that the bullet instance.rotation equals our gun rotation, so it knows which direction to fly. So we rotate vector right to that rotation, and then we normalize it. So that way, if it goes like, you know, just slightly up to the right, it's not going to be too much or give you any kind of extra speed boost. So that's how I do that, and we just multiply that times a scalar speed, and then I added a visibility notifier, so if the bullet flies off the screen, it dies. And I'll probably add some more stuff to that in this because I want to be able to shoot and like actually hit targets. But for right now, that's what we've got. And so I'm going to do the slow time effect essentially, which is really cool. So anyway, sorry for that long rant. Just thought I should set that up. But the way we're going to do this is I'm actually going to create a new. So we're just going to use a basic node here, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and call this. Do I need to make it a scene? Actually, no, we don't need to make this a scene. Sorry, I was experimenting, and at first I made it a scene, but you can actually just make a script. So go File, New Script, and we'll call this slow time.gd, and I will go ahead, put this in QA sessions, QA session 3. I'll make a new folder called slow time, okay? And then we'll click open and create, yep, okay, cool. So it extends node. Also, I'm watching the chat, so if you want to ask me any questions, you know, hopefully I will see it and be able to answer you. I'm not watching Twitch chat if you are on Twitch, because barely anybody watches there. So if you do hop onto YouTube, I apologize for that. Maybe I probably should do that, but anyway. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna first say var, well, we'll say onReadyVar, I guess. onReadyVar timer, and then I'll do this equals timer.new, okay, and then say function underscore ready. So in the ready function, we're going to say add underscore child timer. And so again, we can do call deferred for this, but I just happen to know that when we're in the ready function of an auto load, it's not going to be an issue. So I'm just going to use the regular add child. Now, if you're confused by this, essentially what we're doing is we're making a new timer, right? So we're grabbing the timer class and making a new one, and then we're using this colon here. All this does is essentially it type hints this variable as whatever this is. So this infers a type hint. So if you don't know what that is, just, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to do this. You could just do that and everything will work fine. So we'll go down here. I'm gonna make a custom function, and this is gonna be called start. Oh, we also need to do one more thing in the ready function. So I'm gonna start slow, okay? do this, then pass. So right now I forgot to do something. So what we want to do is we want to connect the timer timeout signal. So we're gonna say timer, I guess we're gonna do, no, timer dot connect timeout, okay. So self, and then what function? So we'll say function underscore on underscore timer timeout, just like that. Okay, pass, and then we'll grab this right here, put that in quotes right there. If you don't know what I just did, this is how you connect signals from code. So typically you go here, you go to the node, and you can click on one of these signals and connect it. All we did right here is we connected it from code. So the object we want to connect the signal from, connect which signal in string, we want to connect the timeout signal to which object, we want to connect it to this script. So we say self, and then which function in that script should be connected to that signal on timer timeout, right? And this is the typical format for writing the signal connected functions. Okie dokie, so we want to do a few things now, right? So essentially what we do is when we start the timer, I actually also want to do this, sorry, I want to say timer dot one shot equals true, okay? And you can use, I'm actually going to do set underscore one shot to be true, okay? Just because I think that looks a little nicer. Anyway, so what this will do is essentially create a timer that can only act once. We're gonna set its wait time later on, so that's okay, but we wanna make sure one shot is true so it doesn't just keep firing over and over again. And we also, of course, wanna make sure that the on timer timeout signal is going on. So essentially what's going to happen is that in the start slow function, we're going to start the timer, timer.start with this, and then when it times out, we're gonna unpause the game, okay? So what we're gonna do with the start slow function here is we're gonna say, we need to add two arguments. So I'm gonna say duration, duration equals, I guess we'll just do 1.0 right now, okay? And then we'll say, what is the other one? Oh yes, slow speed. Okay, yeah, we'll do slow speed. And I'm gonna go ahead and set this equal to we'll do 0.1 by default, because I know that that's pretty drastic, and then we can change that, all right? And so the duration will be how long we want the game to be slowed for, and the slow speed is going to be the new speed of the game. So you can think of right now the game is running at 1, right, at the speed of 1, and if you put it to 0.1, the game is gonna be running at 1/10 of the speed. So these just need to be floats, although they could be ints, so I'm just gonna leave them untyped for right now. Now, what we're gonna do, so the first thing I wanna do is go ahead and say timer dot wait time equals duration times our slow speed. And the reason that we are doing duration times slow speed is that when we actually slow the game down, it's going to slow the rate at which the timer calculates its seconds. So by multiplying it times our slow speed, we're actually going to get the amount of time that we want to, the real time, right? So for instance, if this was actually 0.5, I think this is easier to illustrate, and we set our wait time to 1 second, but then we slow the game down to half a second, right? Then it's going to take double the amount of time for the counter to actually count that. Whereas if we multiply it by 0.5, half a second in that amount of time is, I don't know how it's hard for me to explain, but it's essentially this will make sure that the timer actually equals 1 second rather than equaling double that amount of time or whatever. So then to actually slow down the game, we simply do engine dot timescale, and then we say equals slow speed, okay? And then in the timer timeout function, we say engine dot timescale equals 1.0. Okay, and that's essentially it, actually. So that's all you need for the script. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to project settings, auto load, click this file, and then we're gonna go, this is actually not the right one. We want to go to, here we go. This is the one I just made. That was the other one I made beforehand. We'll go slowtime.gd, and we'll add that right there. So it's an auto load, and I'll explain these really quickly. So first off, what that just did is made it an auto load. So what it means is that this is going to load right when you boot up the game, and it's going to be accessible from, and it's going to be constantly running no matter what scene you're on, and it's going to be accessible from any script. And then finally, to explain this, we're grabbing the engine, and then there's actually just a property called timescale, which says how fast do you want everything in the game to work, essentially. And we're just setting that to our slow speed, which is just on a scale of 0 to 1. Yeah, so I guess you could, oh no, actually, you probably could rewind time even with this. Like if you give this a negative number, I don't know, I haven't tried that. So yeah, that's just kind of in the moment. Then to call this function, you can call it from anywhere, but what I'm gonna do just to make my life easy is to call this in the ready function of the bullets. So I guess first let's run our player scene, and we can see that nothing's changed. We're not getting any errors quite yet. What's happening here in the debugger? Returns a value. Okay, we can ignore that. If you don't know, that's how you can ignore values. I hope there's a better method because I hate seeing this in my code, but then I don't have to get that error all the time. Okay, we'll go ahead and save that script. Now what we'll do in our bullet function is in the ready function, I am just going to say slow time, and you can see it should pop up right there. And then we're going to say dot start slow, and I'm going to leave it as the default settings here, which is going to be a 1 second slowdown of 0.1 seconds. Okay. Now, when I run the game, you can see I can move around. When I shoot the bullet, I slow down for just a second. And of course, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, right? But I think this is probably the simplest way. Oh, awesome! I'm glad you're learning, because that means I'm doing a good job. But yeah, so it's cool. But I think what would be way cooler is if we were able to shoot at something, and then right before we hit it, then we slow down in slow motion until it hits it, right? And so I think what I want to do is then, we can modify our script in order to make that happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the bullet right now. So open up player bullet, and you can see this is an area 2D, but I'm kind of thinking, I'm regretting my choices throughout all of programming, because today I realized that I always make my bullets out of area 2Ds, but we could probably just use, for a majority of bullets, just a raycast. We don't need an area 2D, and raycasts are more efficient than areas. Would using a lerp on the timescale work, or would slowing time during a lerp mess things up? That's a good question, and I actually wondered that myself, so let's figure that out right now, because I had an idea to figure that out, but I didn't have time to go over it. So, would using a lerp on the timescale work, or slowing? So I originally saw this in some guy who was using a tween, but he said his tween wasn't working, so he had to actually go on easings.net, download the actual function for a circular tween, which is some weird function, and then he would essentially plug it in there. I would imagine the lerp would work, but so essentially what the question is like, if we do a process function here, function process, right? We can do Felix process, doesn't really matter. And I say, let's make a var frames. Okay, I'm just going to equal 0. And then if we go here and we say print frames, right? And then I say frames plus equals 1. I think you can get time, but I don't know how to do that, which would be cool. And I don't feel like looking that up. And so if we print this, if we do this right now, it should start printing pretty quickly. It looks like that's printing a little slower. We can even really test that out by doing this. Right. Oh, I guess that's not gonna work. Is that gonna work? No, it's not even gonna slow down time for us. What's that? I can't tell if that's slowing down the physics process, but that would essentially be the question. Yeah, it would be cool to have time gradually change. And so I'll tell you how he did this. And this is GameDev, who's a great YouTube channel if you don't know. And essentially what he did is, so he got a function that he literally just gave it, he would feed it the like an argument, like a time, right, and an amount, and then he would increase it. So we could increase the engine.timescale. So let's just give it a shot and see if we can lerp this. So start slow, we want to do that, and then I guess what we'd want to do is do function process, and then we want to say engine dot timescale equals lerp, and then so from variant to variant by float. Yep. Okay. We'll say this too. We'll say if slowing. We'll do this, and then here. Oh, I need to make that variable. Sorry. So var slowing equals false. False by default. We can even type into there. Equals false by default. And then here we'll say slowing equals true. And then here we'll say slowing equals false, just like that. And then if this, then we're gonna say we want to lerp the engine dot timescale to the variant 1.0 by a weight of, I'll do 0.1. That might be a lot. Let's see, let's do 0.01 there. See how that works. And then we'll say if engine dot timescale. I don't know why this isn't like this. I forget, we actually talked about this. So if we go to float, there should be, oh no, is almost equal. Almost about, fuck, I forgot the function, and it's really important. Does anyone know it? There's like a function for floats where it basically says is almost equal to, because if you try and go the equals to comparison operation, it doesn't work with floats because they're imprecise. Okay, float, all right, let's do this. Float is almost equal to Godot. Let's see. And then someone should have posted it in this Q&A. Let's see. Oh, come on. No one suggested that? Oh, nearly equal. Is that it? Nearly. Nope. Is equal prox. There we go. That's what it's called. Okay. Cool. Sorry about that. Timescale dot is underscore equal underscore prox. And then we'll say 1.0. Then we're gonna say slowing equals false. Okay. Well, now what the hell? Why is this? Why is it not like that? Isn't declared on base float. Okay. Okay, that's how you do it. Sorry. So is equal prox. So we'll do this. Okay, and we'll do this and that. Okay. So if is equal prox engine.timescale to this, then that. So again, sorry for that. Yeah, thank you, Spectre. I don't know if you said that while I was still roaming around like an idiot, but yes, is equal prox is a great function. And again, this is because if you said, if engine is equal 1.0, it would probably never work. We could say like greater than 9.0 or something like that, but that's not what I want. Remember to comment out engine timescale equals 1.0 on the timeout. Okay, yeah, we could do that. I was saying that this could be like a failsafe if we only want to specify it for that amount of time, then we could do that. And then here, of course, what we could do in the start slow function is now we could change the duration to like kind of amount, right? And then we could set that to be our lerp2 value if we wanted. But anyway, let's see if this works. I think it should. So 0.01, I think that should give us a decent amount of. That's taking a long time to get there. We should probably print that, huh? Let's do print engine dot timescale. Oh, it's not. What? It's not even getting close to 1, is it? Why is that? That's super weird. All right, well, let's just say, let's do the, oh, it's because slowing is being set equal to false. Okay, yep, that's important. All right, pass, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the problems with lerp is it never actually reaches that. So let's say, let's actually do this. Let's say if engine dot timescale is greater than 0.98, then we'll say engine dot timescale equals 1.0, and then we'll say slowing equals false. That's the other way to do it instead of is equal prox. Yeah, I'm wondering if the process gets slowed down. That's actually a very good question. Okay, now let's check this out. Okay, so yeah, this is happening too fast. Let's do that. Well, okay, then of course the next thing is this. That's a little too slow. I mean, fast. I mean, to be honest, you definitely could do this, is what this shows, but I think it really just looks better to not do that. So I'm gonna keep it like this. I think this is cooler. But what you could do, of course, is like, you could have it so that on timer timeout, rather than just start again here, then it causes it to, so we could actually do that pretty simply. So rather than even using a variable called slowing, what I'll do is I'll say, I do this in a lot of my scripts here. So we go here. So this should smoothly bring it out of here. So except I want to put this now at probably 0.1. We'll see. Maybe I'll do 0.05. Okay. Right. Step 1. And then we're gonna say set underscore physics process false. Here we're gonna say set underscore physics process true. Okay. So essentially what we'll do, oh, and then ready, I'm gonna say set underscore physics process false. Okay, so essentially when this script is loaded, the physics, or oh, this is in process, so this needs to be set underscore process false, and then I'll just replace those here. Okay, so essentially what I've just done, is right now by false, this is gonna happen, right? So the physics process, or the regular process, is not going to run. So none of this code will run until this ends. So essentially it's going to start very suddenly, but then when it ends, it's gonna like smoothly come out, right? And so basically when it ends, it's going to set the timescale back here. And I think I might even want this to be like 0.95, because let's actually do that. I wanna print engine dot timescale. Okay, and now let's run it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, because I'm there. Okay. Okay, so that should have. So that's like a nice smooth way to come out of it instead of like abruptly. So that's cool. That's how you could do that. I still think I actually just prefer it very kind of more abrupt. I don't know why. I think that looks better. So I'm gonna go ahead and just delete. Well, I'll comment out the process right here, and then I guess I should probably do that too here. So let's see set underscore process true, and then we'll do that. So that way, because this is going to be up on the GitHub repo in case anyone wants to use this. And then of course we can change this slow function, and I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I've kind of worn this topic out, and I'll get to the next one. But what you can do, oh, actually I do wanna make it so that when the bullet gets close to the target, then it slows. But you can make, slow time. We can make a function called stop slow, right? And we would just say engine timescale equals 1, or same deal. We could set the process true on that function. So then you could say like, once the projectile is this close, yeah, I'll do something like that. So I'll say function stop, oopsies, function stop underscore slow, and then we'll say, all this is going to do is say engine dot timescale equals false, and that's really all that matters, right? And then here what we'll do is we'll just say stop slow, just to be consistent right there, so you don't have, not false, 1.0. Okay, and then there you go. So that's that. And now we can call this from a function, stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do for the player bullet is change a few things. So I'm gonna go ahead and do change type, and I'm gonna change this to a raycast 2D, okay? Then we don't need this collision shape any longer. And we also need to change this to raycast 2D, right there. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And then this should still work, except we can see the raycast, but yeah, it still works. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is have, well, I think this is disabled by default, which is not a fantastic design idea in my opinion. Okay, and then we'll set this to whatever the size of our bullet sprite is, or a little bigger. So, oh, it's not gonna tell me, so it's 64 times 0.6. So that's probably about 40, right? That's a little more than half. So if we go here, we want to set the X to, I don't know, 45. Yeah, that looks good. That's good enough. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect, oh no, I guess there's no object entered signal. We just query in the physics process here, which is going to be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna say if, oh, I want to go ahead and make sure the collisions are set correctly. So, oh, I think they actually are. So we're colliding with enemy and wall, which I've made here, and then the player is, oh, we haven't made a wall yet, but that's fine. Okay, I'll make the wall next. But yeah, so those are physics layers. I built a raycast in order to pick objects. Now I'm trying to apply a shader material that underlies the object while the raycast is colliding with it. How can I switch the material on and off? All right, so let me finish this and then I'll hop onto that. Although I'm not great with shaders, I've just started to learn, so maybe I can figure that out for you. But I should be actually able to finish this pretty quickly, yeah. So we've got this raycast. I'm gonna say if is underscore colliding, right? Then we're gonna say die, okay? Because it's a bullet, it's traveling in one direction. So we just constantly check the physics process if we're colliding. If it is, we die. And then real quick, well, I guess I wanna make a world here. So I'll make a new scene, 2D scene, call this test world, like that. And then I'll go ahead and save the scene. QA sessions, QA session 3. And this will be our test world. Oopsie, I don't need to create a folder for this though. Okay, and we'll go ahead and add our player, basic player, okay? And then we'll add a static body 2D. To that, add a collision shape. And we'll call this target. We'll add a sprite. Okay, I'll grab this. We'll move this like over here somewhere. And then I'll add a, let's go to the icon.png here. Oopsies, it's like that. Boom, okay, and we'll set the scale to 2x2, make it a little more noticeable. And then now we'll go ahead and set our collision shape to be a square. And then we'll just make it as big as this thing is, or even a little bigger. Okay, and then we'll go to target, collisions, and we'll put ourselves on the wall layer. And then I'll go ahead and we're masking with player bullet. Okay, cool. I guess we could also mask with player. Okay, even though I don't even think I put, yeah, I don't even have collision shape on here. That's fine. And now, theoretically, not this scene, we'll do this scene. If I shoot, wait, oh, we need to go to this scene. If I shoot the wall, okay, good. So it exploded or it died when it hit the wall. But now what I want to do is I actually think I'm going to make this raycast a little longer. We'll make this like 100. Okay. And then we'll say, I could see how this could become difficult to do. There's a few ways to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and so I'm going to add a second raycast 2D node, okay? And then I'm going to set this one to 100 and 0, and then we'll set the second one here, the main one, to 45. So it's considerably shorter, so there's going to be some amount of time here. Okay, and then what we'll do, so this will be detection, we'll call this the detection raycast, and I'll grab that. So say, let's see, this should go right here. So say on ready var, detection raycast equals detection raycast 2D. Okay, and then we'll just say this. We'll say if underscore we'll do, I'm just being quick here. There's probably better ways to do this. Slowing equals false. And then I'll say if. So if detection raycast dot is underscore colliding, okay, then we're gonna say slow time dot start slow, okay? So we're gonna start to slow down the time right there. And then when we say is colliding, we're going to say slow time dot stop slow, okay? So essentially we've got two raycasts, one is bigger than the other. When the bigger one hits it, we're gonna start slowing down the time scale, and then we're going to stop the time when we die. When I do this, I do wanna say for the amount of time we want it to slow, I could just put this at like 5, because I doubt it'll take more than 5 seconds. And then the amount of time at 0.1 should really be good. So I think this will work. Let's go ahead and give it a oh, I wanna make sure the collision mask is correct on here. So again, we wanna do, there we go, okay. Now, let's see if all our hard work has paid off. Does not look like it is, okay. That's probably because my speed is a little too big. So let's actually make this like 500 in the X, okay. Oh, you know why? It's because it's not enabled. Okay, 100, just like that. Although that still might be a little small, well, let's give it a shot. No, okay, that's a little small. Okay, let's set this to 500, 500. Okay, save this world, see if that works. There we go. So yeah, now you can see that it slows down right before it hits the target. And so the whole time slows down. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, we did that. That's how that works. And now I can get onto some other things. Okay, so I'm gonna answer G Carbonell's comment, or try to, before I get on to the second part, which is just making a simple pause game in a menu. Even though that is pretty simple, but we'll get back to that because I want to answer people who are here right now, and I don't think Matthew's here. So, hi, I built a raycast in order to pick objects. Now, so when you say pick object, does that mean, I don't really know what that means. Now I am trying to apply a shader material that underlines the object while the raycast is colliding with it. Okay, how could I switch the material on and off? P.S. Already got the material. I'd like to put it and remove it from the raycast node to the object node. From the raycast node to the object node. To put it and remove it from the raycast node to the object node, or to activate it with the object itself. First solution would be ideal. Okay, so my understanding of shaders, and like I said, I'm very new to this. I'll go ahead and try to, I don't know exactly how you are doing your your raycast picker, but I'll go ahead and make some very simple stuff going on right here. So I'll make a new scene here, and to this, I'm gonna go ahead and add we'll add a raycast 2D, and to that I'm gonna go ahead and add a sprite. I want the raycast 2D to be pointing to the right. We'll just make it 100, or no, this should be 0, and this should be 100. I don't know why it points down by default. It should definitely point that way. And then what I'll do is tell this I want it to collide with walls. It doesn't matter, I'm just gonna put your objects that you want to see on the walls there. And then I'll call this pointer. Okay, and then I'm gonna make my sprite the icon.png again, and then I'm gonna take the scale, stretch it to be about whatever that is. That should be fine. And then I'll make this a little smaller here, like that. And then, or I mean, I guess there's a lot of ways to do this. So I don't really know how you want it. It sounds more like is mouse picking in 3D. Are you using 3D? Yeah, I can't help you with 3D, unfortunately. But I think the basis of making a shader do something like that is you can add a shader material at runtime. You definitely can do that. But typically, and probably what you're looking for, if I'm being honest, like I don't even know if I have to recreate this whole thing, is really just the get material function. So like for instance, the very first shader I ever made, and I'll just make that right now actually. So I'll make a sprite, and I'll add this. Okay, and I still, like I said, I'm still not great at shaders, but let me give it my best shot here. So we go to material, new shader material, click on this, and then new shader, and then open into this. I'll say, I forgot how this works. Okay, shader type, or type, canvas, underscore item if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, cool. And then I'll say void fragment. Okay, do that. And then, wait, is it this? Okay, cool. Then we'll make a uniform. So this is just like an enemy hit effect. So say uniform, flash underscore color, and then we'll say equals, oh, this needs to be uniform vec4, color equals vec4, and then this will just be 1110, but I think it makes you use floats in here. Okay, and then okay, yeah, so can you pass? There's a lot of stuff, like I said, I really don't know a lot about shaders, but let's see, I actually totally forgot how to do this, but essentially I'm just going to make this fill that. So I'm gonna say, I think it's texture, screw it, I think I'm just gonna grab it. Let's do shader, let's see. Because I don't wanna waste too much time trying to figure this out on stream. I should have that test. I definitely should have done it in here. This is my testing grounds. Well, I think I did on Mecha. I know we need to go here. And I got rid of the material. Oh, God. How did I do this? Where did I do this? Sure, okay. Should be there. Thank you for that. Okay, so I totally forgot. I think it's var text, or no, is it vec for text equals texture, then we get texture, then we get texture, I think it's texture underscore UV. Or just UV. Okay. Yeah, see, like I said, I'm really bad at shaders. And then say Oh, no. We say, what is it? Is it merge? Mix. Mix. Float. I think it's text dot RGB with flash color dot RGB 1.0. Maybe. No, that clearly didn't work. All right, yeah, I'm gonna give up on shaders. Vec4 flash color. Oh, sorry, color equals that. Maybe? Invalid arguments to operator equals vec4 and vec3. Okay, so this is because this is returning a, oh, we say color.rgb. Maybe? Hey, okay, cool. And then we want to say by. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I got this. Uniform float flash underscore amount. Okay, and we'll put this equal to 1.0, and then here we'll put flash underscore amount, like that. And then nothing should change, I don't think. Oh. See, I literally learned like 2 days ago how to make shaders, folks, so give me some leeway here. Sorry about that. I'm not proclaiming to be an expert, I'm just decent and I'm trying to help. So we've got this, and now what you should be able to do is go to shader parameters. Yeah, and we can see flash amount here, and so I can take this down. We can do stuff like that. So I'll actually set this to 0 by default. So I guess we'll go here, set this to 0.0. Okay, and then what I want to do is that we can, so this is a very convoluted way of doing this. We'll create new folder, say apply shader, and what is his name? Carbonell. Okay, underscore Carbonell. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and save it right there. So he says, at this vector, it's a 3D scene. I use the raycast to pick up a tool and drop another one. Well, I think the basics are basically going to be the same. So for instance, I'm gonna go ahead and add the script here. And I want to go ahead, I'm gonna say var tween equals tween.new, okay? And then I'll say function underscore ready, and then I'll say add underscore child. Again, we should say call deferred. Call underscore deferred, add underscore child. Okay, and then tween. And then what I want to do is say, well, maybe we'll yield so I can make sure I can see this. We'll say yield, we'll spell yield like an idiot, and then we'll say yield get tree underscore tree dot create timer. Oh no, I want to say, okay, cool, and we'll say 2 seconds, and then we'll say timeout. Okay, so that way this will yield for 2 seconds, and then we'll start the tween. So we'll say tween dot interpolate property, and we'll say, so this is where things start to go wrong, right? Because you might expect that you would say like self, right? We're gonna interpolate our shader property, but no, what you're actually doing is we're gonna say get material, okay, like that. And then we need to grab the node path, which I think is a little complicated if I don't forget, because we need to essentially go this, which I think it's just shader param flash amount. I think that actually might be it. So we're gonna say shader underscore param, and then flash underscore amount, like that. Okay, and we'll take it from our initial value, which is 0, and we will say that our, well, this needs to be a float, 0.0, and our, well, I guess actually we want the opposite. We want the flash. We'll start it at 1, and we'll say our final value is 0.0. Okay, duration, we'll have it go for a second. We'll have a tween, where did I already pass bounce? Bounce, and then we'll do tween ease in out, and this gives, I think this gives like the best like little flash looking effect, and then I split that, and then we'll say tween dot start. Okay, now we run the scene. Okay, you can see it flash, although it could easily be bigger here. Let's go to transform scale. Let's just go 3 times 3, and then let's also move it so it's actually visible. So you can see we have it flash anyway. So I got to go, but we'll check the answer later. Thank you very much for this help, ACBC. Thank you, man, thank you. So quickly, I think the point of doing that was to show you that the way you probably want to do this is do the get material. Sorry, where is it? Get material, because you don't really actually want to transfer material. So first off, you would want to save this, right? So I've got my new material, and I'll save this, and I'll save this in here as a flash underscore material dot trez. And I've never done, like I said, I'm very, very new to shaders, but what should be doable, all right, did I save this, or I think I meant to save this. And I did, okay, good. Because you want to save this, not this, because then we can just simply add this later in script. So then what I'll do here is that I'll go ahead and make another sprite. Okay, and then, yeah, okay. And there's a few ways to do this. In fact, I'll just keep this sprite. So he wants it to be that when a raycast points at it, then it changes shader. So changing the shader is not the hard part for me. The hard part is pointing the raycast at it. Actually, no, it's not. It's not that difficult. So, let's do this. Okay, and then what I would like to, now we'll just leave it like this, and then I'm gonna take the sprite here, and then I'll make it like red, and we'll make it a little less, a little more opaque there. So now it's like kind of like a clicker, and then here I want to add a quick script and just say function underscore physics process global position equals get underscore global mouse position. And now if we run this, ta-da, we've got a little cursor, and we can go like this. Okay, I thought I just triggered that, and I was like, damn, didn't know I could do that. Okay, then what we're gonna go ahead and do to this. So the pointer, this has to be a collision shape. So what I'll actually do here is add a static body 2D, and then a collision shape 2D, and then I'll make this a child of this. I guess it's not gonna let me do that because I wanna do this first, then this, okay. And that should all work out just fine, except that I do actually want to go ahead and delete this. Yeah, okay, I'm just thinking about how I would do all this stuff here. So I'm gonna go ahead, actually, no, I'm not gonna delete this because this might be helpful, but I will comment this out here, okay. All right, now, so the idea here is that we'll have this, and we'll call this wall, okay? And then, we'll see. I'll do something like this, okay? And I'll make a function, and he said he wanted to underline, so I'll just call this underline, right? He's got the shader material. And then so what we'll do is we'll say sprite dot get underscore material. Okay, so something like that. And then we'll say is var, well actually we'll do this. So say onReady var. So onReady var, and we'll call this underline underscore material equals this. So underline material is going to equal our sprite.get material. Then I think, yeah, so then we go, I guess we don't need to do that, but we're gonna say sprite dot set and then we'll say shader underscore param. Is it params or param? Shader param, okay. So shader param flash underscore color. And then I'm gonna go ahead and set that to 1.0. And we'll say function, why is it like this? Expect an identifier at their func. What? Oh, okay. Okay, so function, that was really dumb. So function stop underscore underline. Okay, and then we'll just say, we'll grab this again. So we actually don't need this, in case you were confused. We should just be able to do that. Oh, no, I think we do, so this shouldn't work actually. But so let's do this just to make sure. So function ready, and we'll say underline. Okay, and then now if I do this, it should get an error. Well, I mean, it didn't set this to equal that. If we go to sprite here, yeah, okay. So it didn't work. And then what do we got in the debugger here? Where delta is never used. Yep, that's fine. Okay. So you can see that this is clearly not being set, although it's for some reason not giving me an error, which I want it to. So I think we need to just do this underline material, and then do again underline material. Now let's see. Huh. So I don't quite know why that's not working. Let's do print underline material. Shader material that, okay. And then let's do dot get, and then 11110. Oh, because it's flash color, you fool. Okay, that's why. This needs to be flash underscore amount. Let's see if anyone said that. Yo, what program do you use for making videos? I'm actually glad you asked. I use DaVinci Resolve. It's a free program, and I mean, a lot of people who have the opportunity to pay for programs still use DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's DaVinci Resolve, and you can do a lot of really cool stuff with it. Like, you know, I mean, if you've seen any of my latest videos, like, I've really started to figure it out, and you could do tons. I mean, you saw, like, I'll just quickly cut back to my intermission here because I made this in Resolve and I'm pretty freaking proud of it. Let's not blast that trailer again. But if I go back here to my intermission, like I made that in Resolve there. So and it's a free program, so that's totally up to you. Yeah, Resolve's great. And you can get the pro version. The only problem I would say with Resolve, but really with just a lot of these free programs, is that they crash. It crashes more often than I'd probably like. But to be fair, as long as I'm smart with it, now that I know the program, it doesn't crash on me almost ever anymore. But when I was like, I didn't know how to use it and I was doing a lot of dumb stuff, it would crash a lot. So just, you know, hit Command S basically every time you do something and you're fine. Okay, so now, okay, so cool. So now it's calling that from the ready. So now what I want to do in order to get this to work is that we'll add a script here, and then we'll say, oh, so I want to go ahead and add a collision shape here. I don't know exactly how he's doing it, but I'm going to add a collision shape like this. So we'll go like that, right? And we will put this collision, and we'll say that you are a wall. It doesn't really matter what you mask with. And then the pointer can mask with walls, right? Perfect. Then what we're gonna say in the pointer is we're gonna say if is underscore colliding, okay? Then we're going to do, I think it's, let's do this. Raycast, and say it should be get collider. Does that return the body? Returns the first objects. Okay, cool. So we'll do this. We'll say get underscore collider. And then what do we want to do? We want to say dot underline. Okay. And then I guess we want to do this. We want to say var last underscore collider. Okay. And then, yeah, we'll just leave that right there. And we'll say last underscore collider equals get collider. Okay. And then here we'll say last collider dot underline. And then we'll say here else last collider dot stop underscore. That's, yeah, it's not gonna autofill. I think it's stop underline, right? That's what I made it? Yeah, stop underline. Okay, and now I think, ooh, what's happening? Else. So what I'll do is just make a flag. We'll say var selected equals false. And then we'll say if is colliding selected equals true. Okay, else or elif selected, then we say selected equals false. And that's actually good for a few reasons, because then we won't just keep calling this over and over and over again in the physics process. Okay. So yeah, that's how I would do that. But then the other thing you have to be aware of with shaders that I haven't fallen privy to yet, but I'm sure I would have if I didn't see this in the first video I watched, is that you want to go, where is it? It should be like local to scene. Where is that? Where's local to scene? There's like something, so if you check, there it is, on resource, make sure you click local to scene, because if you don't, every single item that has this material will have its value change. But now by clicking this, we can then do that. So now it lights up when we do this. Right? So I don't know if that's exactly what he wanted, but hey, you know, that's kind of cool. Never done that before. All right, now what I would like to do is make a pause game and a title. Let's go. I want to look at the comments real quick, see what people are saying. Again, this is for the Godot Game Jam. To promote that, I'll also be doing these pretty frequently, more often, and I definitely hope to do one during the Godot Game Jam. So if you've never made a game before and you don't think you're good enough, one thing, definitely do the Game Jam, because it's going to be a very big community, and it's just very helpful if you do that. The community is really kind, really friendly. It'll definitely help you to make a game, get some critiques on it, get some help. You have a lot of experienced people, and of course, I will be doing at least one Q&A session during the Game Jam, and so you can just come and ask me like, hey, I can't figure out how to do this. I've been trying to do it for an hour, whatever, and I can help you with that. So excited about that. Let's see. Yes, Godot community is awesome. Nostalgic Leaf is awesome. He's always here, being a cool dude. I'm going to use for making videos. Thanks, I'll use it for making my first video. Oh, you got an M1 Mac? Nice. I bought this Mac actually before the Apple M1 chips were kind of more frequent, because I got a good deal on this from Costco. And then, yeah, my laptop's kind of busted, so I'm thinking it might last me another year. But once that's done, I'm waiting to push that until I can get the nice M1 chips. But anyway, okay, so we got this. So I want to make a pause scene. So this is back to, again, Matthew Paul's comment. I guess what I should also do here is probably push all the changes I've just made to GitHub. So you can see we've got all these. This is in the description in case anyone wants to see the code. So we're gonna say, I guess Q 1.5, 2, 1.5 and 2, because we answered half of question 1. And I'll go ahead and click commit to main, push origin, because there are commits on the remote. Fetch them, servant. All right, and cool. I think I just added a README. I think that's what that was. Okay, and then make sure I didn't break anything somehow. Cool. I actually really like that effect. I think that's very cool. Anyway, yeah. So What we're gonna do is make a pause menu. I think the first thing I'll go ahead and do is make just a little thing that we can pull up here, and it'll like, you know, so I'll add a color rect. I'm not going to use the pop-up because I just don't like it. Most of the built-in control nodes in Godot are not my favorites. I actually think it's easier for me to just program them myself than to use Godot's in most cases, not all cases. So yeah, I'm just gonna make my own pop-up. So we're gonna make this, and I'll make it just bigger, like probably about like that big. We'll say this is our pop-up size. This can be our pause menu. And then I'll go ahead and I'll call this pause underscore min, or no, I'm not supposed to put underscores. Pause menu. And then I'll go ahead and center this so it looks all right. Nope, not that. Oh yeah, we want to say, okay, because we are in, so what I'll do is add a canvas layer. Okay, and we'll put this under there. Say pause canvas layer, it's on 1. Okay, and then we'll call this pause menu, and now we can do center. It should be centered on the entire screen. That's fine. Okay, let's make this a little bigger then actually, because that's pretty small. Okay, and then what I want to go ahead and add is a button, just a regular button, just a regular button, Mr. Regular Button. I'll put this under the pause menu here, and then I'm going to put this up in the, I guess we could go top left, and then the text I want to be X, like that. And we'll just do that. So that's gonna be like our close button. In fact, we can just put close there. Doesn't really matter. And then what I'm gonna do, we'll connect in a second. So I don't really need to have anything here. Because I guess we should probably add a label, and then the top, we'll do center top, and here we will just say subscribe to ACB Games, as you should. Okay, center top, and then let's go ahead, custom constants, custom colors. Let's make the font color black here, and then of course we will just scale it. Rect, scale, 10, nope, maybe 5 or 6. There we go. Okay, center top. Why didn't that work? Doesn't want to do that, huh? What if I did center? It's gonna do that. That's very odd. No, it should definitely be top, center. That's super weird, actually. I don't know why that's not working. This should go to, so that worked. If I do center top, I don't really know why that's happening, but that's fine. I'll just do this right now, because that's not why we're here. So there we go, there's that. Feel free to do it. Yeah, join the Godot Jam. I'm actually gonna take a quick break here in a second, but I wanna finish this. Essentially the way you make a pause menu is Godot has, you can just say like game.pause, where you pause the whole tree. And anything in the tree that is not selected as to not pause will stop working, essentially. So what you want to do is on any node that you want to be able to use during the pause, go over here to where it says pause mode and just put this to process, right? And then every other thing by default is going to have this called inherit. So what they'll do is they'll keep grabbing up the tree until they find one where you have specified that you want it to inherit or stop. And this is how you might get some nodes within this stopping, whereas other nodes will come up the tree and grab. So I mean, so this wouldn't care with the button if the button is stop, but the label would care if pause menu said stop. But since these all say inherit, we're just going to inherit whatever this is, and then all the other ones will be on the pause mode, whatever the actual tree is, in which case we're going to pause it in the game. Okay. Now that that has been said, we want to go ahead and I'll add a script. I'll just add a script here. So we'll click create. Yep. Okay. And I'll say function underscore ready. ready. And then we'll say hide. Okay. We'll say function show underscore pause menu. Okay. And we'll say show. And then we'll also say engine dot paused. Oh no, I'm sorry, not engine. We'll say get underscore tree dot paused, and we'll say that is equal to true. Okay, and of course you can also do set paused true, doesn't really matter. And then we'll do is a function hide pause menu. Por supuesto, Okay. And then we'll say hide, of course. And then we'll say get tree paused. Dot paused. Equals false. Bazzles. You guys are making me nervous. Okay, and that's how you basically apply an S for 100. Yes. Oh, hold. Make sure you hold your menu, eh? Oh, yeah, you gotta hold it. Hold it. Okay, why does it not like this? What did I do wrong here? Get tray. Make sure you hold your menu and get the tray. You gotta do it, lads. Okay. Okay, so now what we want to do is essentially take input to determine when we want to do that. So I'll say function input, oh no, it's underscore input. Now, I am not good with the input function, so I apologize in advance for this. I think this should work. Yeah, I think this should work. Oh, except we need to connect our button pressed signal. Oopsies, wrong one. Disconnect. I'm gonna connect it to pause menu, and then we'll say hide. Well, it's not gonna work until I figure this out, so we'll put pass underscore pause menu. And so essentially this will hide it and pause the game, or show it and pause the game. This will hide it and unpause the game, and then when the close button is pressed, we will hide the pause menu. Godot to the moon, baby. They murdered my dirter and don't murder. Did anyone watch that SNL on Saturday? I'm not a huge SNL guy, but my girlfriend and I watched it, and we just thought it was freaking hysterical. Because they made fun of that really popular TV series called Mayor of Easttown, and they did a skit called Murder Dirter, because they have just like such a weird accent, and they're like, oh yeah, I give me some worder. They murdered her dirter, and it's just so yeah, it's very funny. And then we didn't even know we were watching that show, and then we watched it, and then we're like, she just said worder, and then we realized, you know, the SNL skit kind of ruined half the show for us because it did somehow disclose the plot throughout their hysterical ness of it. Anyway, okay, so input event, we'll say if event. Actually, I'm gonna just use physics process because I don't want to make a fool of myself. Function physics process delta, and then we'll say if input dot is underscore what? Why is it not doing this? Is dot. Why is it not doing it? What's happening? I hate when it. Oh yes, that's been a problem with the 3.3. It's been kind of not. Why is it not doing that, dude? If action input is action just pressed action underscore just. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna go here. It's like, I don't know why that's not popping up there. Okay. Okay, pass, and then we'll change this to, why is it not autofilling, dude? That is so irritating. Runjan was complaining to me that he's having that same issue. No, this is actually the first time I've had it. So, put map. I guess we don't want to do, what's UI accept? UI accept, enter. Okay, that's cool. We'll do that. UI underscore accept. UI accept. Okay. And then if we do this, we'll go ahead and do show pause menu. Show pause menu. Okay, and yeah, now we should be able to run this game. So you can see I can move around, but if I hit pause, it pauses the game. And if I hit the close button, you can see that everything's working. I close it, then it unpauses. So that's pretty cool. And then, okay, let's do this. I was interested just to see if I pause it and then unpause it. Same deal. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Anyway, yeah, so that's how you would make a pause scene in the Hold Brothers. That shit's so funny. But yeah, so that's how you'd make a pause scene in Godot, or at least one of the ways. I'm sure there are other ways, as Godot is good at that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's probably the easiest one. So that's that. My voice hurts, but I'm not done. But I think I'm gonna go grab some water real quick, and then I'll be back. Definitely less than 5 minutes, but I also need to flex the Go Godot Jam trailer real quick. So yeah, enjoy it, and I'll be back. All right, what's up? I'm back. Got my water. Oh my God. It's like every time I've ever watched someone else stream, I don't even think about, for some reason, how speaking for 4 hours straight actually is difficult. So I'm like, oh, I mean, there's people who make like money off of this. I'm like, I would just be streaming 24/7. Like it is a little tiring, but it's really fun. I love like being able to interact with you guys and see what people are saying in the comments. I think it's like really, really cool to get that feedback instantly. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, please submit them down in the chat. As I've completed what I have here, what I'm going to do now is actually just move over to the Godot Q&A section and the Reddit and start answering their questions, which is always fun because then I get to, you know, like really answer somebody's question, and I'll post it down in there. So we'll say Godot QA. Oh yeah, also, I thought this was really cool, but so I made something for the asset lib, and it's now, or it was yesterday. Yeah, there it is. I'm on the front page, dude. Check that out. The Particles 2D Plus class by ACB Games. So that's really cool because it makes making particle explosions much easier, which is really, really nice. So yeah, check it out. I've got a quick video explaining how that works, but essentially adds a particles finished signal to it. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be really helpful. Obviously, it's free. It's on the Godot asset lib, but I'm just psyched that it's on the front page. That's really cool. Okay. Sorry, my pug was over here. Beanie. Beanie. Okay, she leave. That's okay, okay? But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the Godot QA. And then I also want to go to the, actually I've got the Godot Reddit bookmarked here. Bullet hell engine. Okay, and then I think you can, yeah, you can filter. So we'll filter, nope. How the hell? Oh, it's my cake day on Reddit today, everybody. How exciting is that, right? Like, how many, I didn't even know. And then today, oh, that's nice. That's juicy. I also really like this freaking dinosaur. It's so goddamn cute. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. You should, I forgot how you filter. Any options? No, is it this? No. You search? I don't think that's it. There's a way to filter all these. If anyone knows, that'd be great. I guess we'll start with the Godot Q&A and then I'll try to figure that after we get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and unpin this comment now. Unpin. But thank you, Matthew. We have answered you. Didn't look like it unpinned it, but it's fine. Okay. Is my mouse dying? Oh, 54. That sucks, but it's okay. That should get us through this. Okay, cool. How to make a character a square to rotate alongside the slope it is on. So I was following G control on 2. The planner noticed that everything works well when I tried to add a slope in game. The box just climb it without rotating alongside of the slope. The box is a kinematic 2D and I'm using move and slide, blah, blah, blah. I look up the documents and figure that move and slide could be used to handle slopes. Okay, so I don't really know if I'm not the guy to ask about that, but like move and slide is not going to, by definition, control like if something is going to rotate or pivot or anything like that. It's simply moving. So yeah, it could help you move up these slopes, but if you want, for instance, we've got our guy here. Like if you want him so that when he comes, oh yeah, he's not set up to collide. Let's add a collision shape. Actually, we should do that in the actual scene. Okay, and I'll add a circle shape. Okay, just the like of that. Well, actually, I guess we'll make this a little bigger, like that. Okay, save, and then we'll make sure that we are on the correct way. Actually, is that? But we want to collide with walls and enemies. And there we go. Okay, cool. Go back to test world here. So now, I think this is moving or moving slides. So you can see the collision happens. But obviously, I'm not going to turn to face if were this a ledge here, right? There's ways you can do that, but I don't think that's actually that easy. I mean, maybe there is, but yeah, that's not something built into Godot for sure. I forgot that the we gotta do this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm still like very happy with that. Okay, we'll do debug and take off visible collision shapes right now. Anyway, so that's actually so funny. All right, so check this out. We totally answered your question. I'll go ahead and do a little flex for you right now. So here's our pause menu. Here I can pause it. You see the game is paused, although I shot a bullet, and I can use this, and I can until I close this, then the game will unpause like this. So I can go like this and pause the game right now. Do that. As you can see, I also made these bullets. So when these bullets get close, oopsies, I made the shoot button. I'm gonna change that right now. Actually, I made the shoot button the exact same, and this is all on the GitHub. The GitHub is in the description. I'll quickly go over it again. But let's do UI accept. I want to get rid of, make this just enter. Let's do that. Close. So I can shoot now, and you can see that when the bullets, if I miss, but if they get close to the target, the time actually slows down. You can see that everything's slowing down there, which is pretty cool. So I'll quickly just show you how I did all that. So pausing in Godot, what you need to do is whatever node you want to work when the game is paused, make sure you go over here into the inspector tab, go down where it says pause mode, which will be under the node, and set that to process rather than inherit. And then any of its children will then not be paused. it itself and none of its children. And every other node in this tree will be paused, right? And I made this pause menu. Now you can use a pop-up menu, you can figure out how that works. All I did is I made a function called show and hide. On show, what we do is we just call the function show, which is a built-in function of just about everything in Godot, which basically toggles this eyelash here on and off. And then get tree, we do get tree, which gets us access to the scene tree. Dot pause, set it equal to true, and then unpause, we set it equal to false. And then I've added this button that says close, connected its signal to hide the pause menu when that happens. And that's all we did. That's how you make a pause menu, super duper easy. I mean, you know, as you can see here, and then yeah, nothing works. I'm pressing input, nothing's happening. I mean, it's actually better, I guess, to see when you shoot a bullet. You can't even see. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so you can see that the bullet has frozen, and when I let go, it's just gonna now go. So that's cool. Now, the way we did the slowdown is a little different, but not too hard. We essentially made a global. Actually, it's very different. I don't know why I said it like that. But so we made a global. We just made a new script. This is it. Again, this is in the description, or the GitHub link to this is in the description. We said onReadyBar timer equals timer.new. If you don't know what these colons mean, you can feel free to leave them out. It doesn't matter. Essentially, they just tell us to make this. It type hints this. Do this. If you don't know what type hinting is, then definitely forget about it. Timer.new. We're making a brand new timer. Then I'm also making a variable called slowing, but we actually don't need this in this version that I'm using. That's just in case. Yeah, that's only if. So I guess you want to do. No, you don't want it there. Are we not using a slowing variable anymore? No, I guess we're not, huh? Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need this at all. Very cool. Okay, anyway, sorry. So what we do is in our ready function, this actually doesn't need to be there. We add the child, or add the timer to as a child of us. Then we connect the timer's timeout signal by doing this, timer.connect. We're connecting a signal from timer, which signal, the timeout signal, to what object, us, we say self, to which function, and I just made that function right here on timer timeout. And then we call the function stop slow. So there's a function start slow where we take a duration and a slow speed. The duration is how long you want the slowness to last, and the slow speed is, I guess what we could do, but anyway, so yeah, so duration equals 1.0, slow speed equals 0.1, right? So the slow speed is how fast or at what speed you want the game to move after you've called the function. So by default, I'm setting it to 0.1, so a tenth of the speed of the normal game, or 0.1 of the speed of the normal game, right? And duration is how long we want this to work for. We then set the timer's wait time to the duration times the slow speed, and that's because the actual time of the timer will start to move slower once we slow the game down. So by multiplying our duration times our slow speed, in this case, we'll essentially get 1/10 of a second in regular time, which equals 1 second in our slow time, whatever that is. That's what we just need to do. Then we start the timer, and then to actually stop or to slow down the game, we say engine.timescale equals slow speed. It's literally that easy. And then on the timer timeout function, it will stop slow, and the stop slow just sets the engine.timescale equal to 1.0. Now what I also did here, but we didn't end up using for that, is this. So we set process false in the ready function, and then when the timer times out, we set it to true. And this is essentially what this does, is it, instead of just right now, it's like very jolting. I actually prefer it this way. I think it looks cooler. But if, actually these guys, so when they hit it, it just stops, right? This would be a much smoother way to do it. So basically in this process function, we lerp the timescale towards a value of 1, and then I actually don't need that. So we lerp the timescale, which if you don't know, basically increments it somewhere between the first value and the second value based upon this amount here. And so we constantly get closer and closer to 1.0 right there. Then we're checking if our timescale is greater than 0.95, because the lerp will never actually equal 1. So once it's close to 1, essentially what we're saying, once our timescale is close to 1, we're going to set our process to false and set our engine timescale back equal to 1. I swear found a new bed underneath the bench there. Water. But yeah, so that's how that works, and that's a smoother transition. But I actually think it looks a lot cooler when you just kind of like abruptly stop it like that. But okay, so that's that. There's your questions, Matthew. Again, this is on GitHub, which is in the description. In fact, I should actually push some new changes that we just did. Okay. P2 of Q. Okay, we'll go ahead and commit that. Again, if anyone in here actually has a question, please drop it in here. You will absolutely get first priority. But I want to kind of go through the Godot Q&A. I don't know why I did not do that. And see if there's anything we can answer to help some people. So events programming, don't think, add physics to 3D model, how to make a character square. So I'm not going to do this one. I probably won't, because I think there's going to be better ones. That's a very specific case that I don't think is as applicable and is as teachable. Like, I don't think anyone in here is going to learn much from that. Changing panel texture with button, that should be very simple to do. Toggle visibility, those should both be very easy to do. I would like to make a button that will change texture of panel. The button is a children of this panel. Is this possible to make this user interface scene? And do I need to change something? Changing scene to 2D scene or something? No. Texture of a panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer this real quick because I think it would be, yeah, of course, dude, of course. Not a lot of people are asking questions, so I definitely want to give preference to people who are gonna be on stream like yourself over, answering Godot Q&A streams, but I don't know why I do that every time I take a sip of something, but I do. Okay, so yeah, this will be pretty simple. So what I would like to do is, let's see, I don't know the easiest way to actually get this. Oh, I could just go on YouTube and click on my stream. There you go. Got the new thing, new subscriber. Oh, Carbon now! Hell yeah, that's how we do it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'll say, answering your question live on stream. Okay, and we'll add answer. Okay, so he wants to change the texture of that panel. So this should be actually pretty simple. So we'll go ahead and add a user interface node like this right here. And then I'll go ahead and add what's a control node, not an unit. Okay, there's a color rect. This is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna go ahead and center this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little bigger, just like our menu there. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and add a button. And then he wants to, yeah, I guess I'll just add 2 buttons. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna add a control. To this, we'll add the buttons. And I'll go ahead and add 2 buttons like this. Then in this control, make it a little bit bigger. I'll add the first button, and we'll say center top. Second button, so this will be up button, and then this button will be a down button. Okay, and then our down button will then put to the center bottom like that, and then let's do that. There we go. There's that, and then up button, do a little something like that. I guess we should probably make the Rex the same size. So let me just do this. Just duplicate this one, and then we'll put this one to the center top, so I can have it. No, not that. Okay. I'll set this to up button. Okay, and I'll go ahead and stick that on the top. Oh no, I already did that. So center top. Okay, and then what I can do is just change these to go a little something like this. I guess actually what we should do is the texture of a panel. Okay, so we want to add change type to a panel. Let's change type. There we go. Provides an opaque background for control children. Okay, that's actually perfect. So we'll do that. This will be panel, okay. And then we've got our 2 buttons, and then for the text in these buttons, I'll just add, oh, that should be, that's the down button, huh? Okay, and then I guess we can do rect, scale, and put the Y as -1. That kind of works, but I don't love that. That's fine though. It's a little sketchy. It's a sketchy way to do it. That's not obviously how I do it in the game, but I'm just trying to make these actually have. Where is it? Oh, I'm so dumb. I do not need to do that. Because you can obviously just put V's for that, and then in the up button, we will just put the up one like that. So now they have the both up and down thing like that, even though they're not to the same scale. Doesn't really matter. Okay, then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, I guess I'll attach the script here. So let's go ahead and save the scene. Let's go back to this, and I'll go ahead and say, well, what's this kid's name? Copy. So say quotum underscore Q3. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and add a script here as empty. Okay. And then what I want to do is connect the pressed signals from both of these guys. So say on down button pressed, on button up button pressed, and then essentially what we're going to do is cycle through. I'm starting with slow moving projectile in 3D affected by gravity like a mortar cannonball. It either immediately dies to the ground or travels perfectly straight. I want a nice parabolic arc. Okay, I will. I'm gonna hurry up and finish this because I don't think this is the greatest teachable question. I think that's a much better question. Well, at least it's widely applicable to a lot of people. But this is actually should be something that's fairly trivial. So what I'll do here is we'll go into here and we'll go to custom styles, panels, and then I'll just add like new style box flat, right? And we'll set this one equal to this, and then actually there's a lot of ways you could do this. But if let's say you've got a preset thing, so we'll go ahead and save this. We'll go to what's happening right here. Oh crap! Where did I save? Where did I save the thing now? Slow time. Oh, but this is a Trez file. Crap. Now I'm like, where did I just save that? I didn't make a new. Okay, so I want to do. Oh, pausemenu.gd. Why is that there? That's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna do is click move to, and then I'll make a new folder in here. QA. No. Move to QA sessions, QA session 3, and then I'll make a create new folder. Yes, I want to do QA session 3, no? Okay, this will be Neopoda. Okay, and then we'll click move. There we go. Okay, so now it's in its own directory. I just like to do that to keep things a little better organized there. No, dude. Am I stupid? Am I stupid? Okay, I want panel and Neopodum to go into Neopodum. Okay. Cool. Very glad that worked. At least it save and close. I'll keep this one saved for now. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and do this. Now we'll go ahead and save this. Okay. Yeah, so we're in here. So we'll say create a new folder called panels. Okay. And so I'll save this as gray. Okay. And I'll make another one here. So I'll just right click this and say make unique. And then I'll add this one to be red. I'll save this as red. Okay, then we'll go ahead and click make unique. Then I'll make this one black. Or yeah, we'll do black. And then I'll say save again. Guess what it is? Black. Okay. Now we'll do in the panel is I'll say var. We could probably even make this a constant actually. Yeah, I think I am. So we'll say yeah. Okay. So constant options. We'll say yeah. We'll just do that. Options equals. We'll make a list here, and I'll go just like this. And then what we'll do is go to panels here. Can I grab all three of them? Because that'd be cool. I don't think this will work. Oh, it did work. Oh, and oh my god, that's amazing. I've never done that before, and that's fantastic. Then we can just do this, and there we go. So there's now we've got a list called options that has the paths to all of these different panels, and then I'll make a variable right here. This will say var index, and we'll set this equal to 0 by default. And this is going to be an int, but it doesn't matter, so I'll just do that. Okay, so now I've got that. Let's go ahead and close these out, these ghost scripts. Okay, so when the down button is pressed, we'll say index plus equals, I'm sorry, minus equals 1, minus equals 1, and then we'll say if index, yeah, if index is greater than, oh no, I think we can just say index dot clamp, or no, clamp, oh, it has to be float? That's annoying. Okay, so we'll have to do this normally. So we'll say if index is greater than, yeah, if index is greater than options dot, I think it's size. So this will return the size of the array, right? So we've got 3 things in here, minus 1. Okay, then index equals, so if it's greater than the size of the array minus 1, so meaning that we've gone to 3 or 2 and then we click up again, then we want the index to be equal to 0. And then I'm gonna say elif index is less than 0, okay, then we say index equals option size minus 1. Okay, essentially that clamps it between those values, and then we'll just go ahead and put this exact, very similar code right here. Okay, except we'll say plus equals 1, and then what we'll do on both of these is that we will say, well, I mean, technically there'd be a better way to do this, but yeah. So we will do, yeah, I think the best way to do this would actually make a set get for index, and then so whenever you change index, it would automatically apply this to it, and then it would also change the index of what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our panel, and we're going to grab this. So we say custom styles panel, I believe. So set custom styles panel. So set underscore, or no, set custom underscore styles, comma panel, I believe. Just make sure again because I often don't do it. Okay, panel. I really wish you could just, maybe they've done this, but I would love if you could just like right click and say copy parameter path, because I maybe I'll do that as a future suggestion, because that would be great in Godot. I would, if I were Unostalgic, I would definitely use a rigid body for that. I'll get into it in a second. But if you're using a kinematic body, you'll actually have to use the kinematic functions. Functions or physics. Kinematic equations. Oh my god, this is bringing back bad fucking memories. I used this when I was actually in physics. So yeah, it's one of these 4 equations, and I'll get to that if you really want to. But basically, these are the equations that you can use to calculate a velocity at any time, and then so we'll use those. And so this is distance, this is velocity, acceleration, and time, and we can use those all together to calculate what your velocity and your acceleration. Your acceleration should be just 9.8 meters per second downward, I believe. Anyway, we'll figure that out in a second. Sorry about that. That gives me trauma. Okay, so we're gonna set this property equal to load, and then we're gonna say options, and then we do this, and then we say index. Okay, so when you say options index like this with the brackets, essentially you're getting whatever is there. So here we get the index that is right here. If our index is equal to 0, so I want to do this for both of them. Okay, and I want to do this for both of them, exactly the same. That is why I think this should actually all be in a separate function that is a setGet for index, but I don't think I need to. Maybe I will, but I kind of want to get to Nostalgic Leaf's question. Okay. Oh yeah, Nostalgic Leaf. Also, if you want to go ahead and link me to a GitHub you've got, please go ahead and do that. I don't know if you're in my Discord already. Let me go ahead and shoot you an invite. I think it'll work. Let me know if this is not appearing. What am I doing? Here we go, and we'll click. I'm new to this. Invite people. Oh yeah, I've got a. Oh, I should have a link. Oh yeah, there's a link in my thing now. Let's see. Tell me. Let me stick this in here. Tell me if this shows up. Because I know sometimes it doesn't. Maybe I can just watch here. But yeah. Or maybe it'll appear in the stream. Did it pop up? All right, cool. Yeah, that's my Discord. If you want to go ahead and hop in there and link me to the GitHub containing that project, and I'll download it. But I think this should work. So essentially, we're loading whatever is here at path, and we're setting our custom styles panel to equal that. So if we run this scene, yeah, as you can see, we can go that, and we can actually shuffle backwards, and you can just keep going as much as you want. You can see I'm clicking this pretty fast. Godot can easily handle that. The other way to do that would be to actually preload all of your things like that. But I think it's probably better to do it this way, because it's pretty easy to load this, and then you might not have to load these things in the memory, given that someone might only choose between 2 or 3 colors. So that's probably the best thing to do. And then if you were wondering what I was talking about with a setGet, essentially what we do is we say this, and we'd say, so I'd say function set underscore index, okay, and then we say new underscore value, okay, and then what I'll do is this, so we can stick this in here, and then we could get rid of both of these like this, okay, and then we could actually just have these guys say that, and then say index equals new value, just like that. Yep, so just like that, and then we'd say set index, just this. I think that's how it'll work, but I do think be able to get token literal. Let's see if that's going to persist. Okay, and I don't think this is running. I think you have to do like self.index if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's all you had to do. But I think there was something weird. No, okay, that worked. All right, and there we go. So then that's probably how I would do it. Just saying. That's probably the best way to do it. I'll go ahead and then go ahead and push those up there. Oh, okay, cool. Didn't ruin anything. So this is gonna be Q3, commit to main, and push origin. Boom, ba ba. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and go back into our test world here. We've got a few things. Okay, Nostalgic Leaf. I'm actually gonna need some more water, and I need to pee because I feel like I'm dying. So I will be back to answer your question in un momento. All right, and I'll go ahead and leave you with the Godot Jam trailer. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Oh, forgot to put this back on. I might have forgot to put that on the whole time, so I apologize. That was terrible. Your audio level's a little quiet for your mic. The Jam logo blasted me. Yeah, so 2 apologies. 1, I think I left this on the ground. 2, oh yeah, I just need to fix that because it's not, I don't think it allows me to change the volume at which I play that commercial. Let's see, if I go to properties, yeah, it's not gonna let me do that. I don't want to preview it. Okay, yeah, I think I can actually fix that without having to re-render the video, because it's rendering at whatever playback volume I set it at. So yeah, but it's not, I think I have to actually play it to get access to, at least is my mediocre knowledge of OBS, to get access to the volume controls. So I'm just not gonna do that, and then I just won't play that again because 2 people have said that now. But cool, so we answered this guy's question. Now I wanna answer Nostalgic Leaf's question. Okay, and I just got water and also gave a little water. That's what I thought. I switched my other. Yeah, so Nostalgic Leaf. You want a nice parabolic arch. Let's go ahead and try and, I'm just gonna try and do that. I don't think I want to get rid of Test World. So I think what I'll do is make a new, or get rid of anything in there. Just start new. So I'll go ahead and make a new Scene 2D, and I'll go ahead and save this. Here we go. Okay, create Nostalgic Leaf Parabola. Okay, so we'll save this, and then I'll add a sprite. Okay, and then I'll go to icon, and to both these guys, actually I should probably just do it this way. Okay, and then we'll put you, make sure we got this one, put you like right about there, and then I'll do, sorry about that. Okay, set the scale here to 2 by 2, and then again, we're just going to make this sprite the gun. So I'm going to make the transform, make the scale 0.5, and the X 1.2, and then, oh, guess who it is, everybody? It's Beanie time. She hate kisses, but I give her kisses anyway. But I give her kisses anyway. Okay, sorry about that. I love this dog a lot. Okay, So now what we'll do is go to offset, and I want to offset it by, what, like 28, okay? And so that will do that. And then I'll go ahead, I'll set this a little smaller even, 3. And then we'll go to visibility, and I'll make this look black, so that way it's our gun. Okay, cool. I'll call this the gun. Okay, and then to that I'll add a position 2D. Okay, and then grab that and just stick that right over here. Then I'll add a new, actually we could just do this. So I'll add the script here, create, and I'll say, func physics process, look at get underscore global mouse position, like that. And so we want to go ahead and shoot a projectile at some speed. Okay, and now if we run this, I should just have this thing that looks at my camera, and we want to shoot it like that. So now I'll go ahead. Oh, thanks, Adrian. You paid the pet tax. I don't know, dude. I just love this dog so much. And she just cuddles with me all day long. That's all she wants to do is just sit on my lap and love me. It's like the best thing ever. And then she likes to play. It's great. It's one of the only pugs I've had that loves to just play around and run. She chases like this humongous lab the other day. I mean, she quit pretty early on that one, but she'll chase these 2 full-size golden retrievers, and she's, you know, like yay big, and they're yay big, and just chase them around this yard. It's like hysterical. And she's only got like 5 minutes of running into her because she's, you know, like a foot long, but she's spunky. She's a spunky girl. Okay, so eventually we're gonna make a shoot function, but I think I'm gonna make the bullet function right now. So we're gonna add a rigid body 2D, and then I'll add to that a sprite. And I think this would be pretty funny, but what I would like to do is get, so we go to Godot code, Godot man, go to art, SVG icons. There should be a rigid body in here. So rigid SVG icons, rigid body 2D 2G. I hope that opens with the right program. Yeah, it is. Okay, just go ahead and save this as a PNG. Let's do 100 by 100 PNG by linear export, and I'll go ahead and put that. Godot code testing and QA sessions, QA session 3. So actually parabola save. Okay. Yeah. So if you're wondering how I got all those, Discord won't let you join. Why is that? That's weird. See, the problem is, like, I don't understand Discord enough. Look, these other people just joined right now. Huh. It's weird because I don't understand Discord enough to really, like, fix things. Like, I just joined myself, like, probably 2 weeks before making my own Discord, and I'm like, oh, this thing's pretty cool. Right? So, anywhozer. So I apologize, but it looks like we're halfway there to getting something to work. So yeah, so what I did, now if I go to rigid, here's that, and then super meta, now we've got a rigid body 2D that has the rigid body 2D thing. So if we do this, it should just fall. And so it's falling, the gravity is obviously pretty pathetic there. So I think, so you can change the gravity scale, so we can make this like 5, but I don't think you really actually want to mess with the gravity scale, except that did seem, well, I guess the weight, it's 9.8, I think it was 9.8, maybe it's not pounds, maybe that's like, you know, grams or something. So yeah, let's say that's in grams, let's do 980 pounds, because that will be almost a kilogram. Yeah, maybe we do need to mess with the gravity scale a little bit, because that's crazy. So set this like, let's do 5. See what that looks like. That is weird, that doesn't look right. I was calculating the mass based upon that. So mode rigid static character kinematic. We want a rigid body, custom integration. What does it say? Internal force integration. Oh, that's fine. Oh, well, that's weird. Yeah, the gravity in the project settings is the default. So whatever that is, honestly, I would imagine that's what, 2D physics? No, it's gonna be 2D render. Nope. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's not the point, because that's weird though, because the weight should for sure, at least in physics, affect the rate that it falls. Like what if I do 10,000 here? You're right though. That definitely does not affect it, which is weird. Gravity scale works though, so we'll just keep with that. We'll put it at a gravity scale that seems good to me. I don't. Oh, the weight just has to deal with how hard you have to hit it in order. I see. Okay. So what I should be able to do is essentially like shoot it. So if we go, I think that's actually all we need to do for this. But what I'll go ahead and do is then go save as scene. If I can find that. So save branch as scene. QA sessions, QA session 3. Oh, it's test world. Oopsies, I'm gonna need to put that back in there. Can I do that? No, I can't do that from here. Okay, static leaf. And then, not test world. Save this as projectile. Okay, then, oh, it needs a collision shape, doesn't it? That's fine. Don't need to give it much of a collision shape, but there we go. I would be very surprised if this didn't just behave like a typical parabola, though. I think you do apply impulse. I don't know if that's... Oh, I was trying to apply my own gravity. So it's like double gravity? Yes. Yeah, so you can change, as Matthew was saying, the gravity in the project settings. I actually don't remember how to do that because I haven't worked with the rigid bodies in a while. But if you're applying your own gravity, you are going to have to use those kinematic equations. Let's see. Parabolic arc. I don't even remember. Oh no, is this that same one? No. So yeah, you're gonna have to use some of these ugly equations here to get it to work, and then you have to calculate based on time and all this stuff. So you probably don't want to calculate that. It has built-in physics, so we literally just apply the gravity, and then we can just shoot it. I'll apply an impulse in whatever direction I'm aiming to the ball, and then it will just kind of take care of itself, and you can adjust the gravity and stuff as needed. Yeah, stuff like that. And I think it has like a bouncy amount and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. So go here, so we've got the collision shape, and we've got that. Okay, cool. So then what I want to do is actually remove it from the scene, and then script here, we'll say function shoot. Okay, and I'll say if in input dot is action just pressed shoot. Then we'll do var projectile equals preload okay. So we'll call this projectile underscore TSCN. That's how I like to do it. And it'll say var, say body, whatever, projectile dot, or underscore ins equals projectile dot scene dot instance. Okay, then we'll say projectile ins, oh god, the ins, dot global position equals position 2D dot global position, and then we'll say Get score parent dot add child, or this should be call deferred add child, and then we'll say projectile instance like that. And then what I'd also say is projectile dot instance dot apply. I think it's apply impulse. Let's go ahead and pull up. Do I have it up here? No, I don't. So let's grab the rigid body in from the help here. If you don't know how I just did that, I just went up to search help and click that. I actually have a shortcut for Command Shift F because I use it so often. And it's got a lot of methods to apply forces to it. And that's how you want to deal with moving these, because then the physics will affect them correctly. Whereas if you just move their position, then you're gonna have to calculate that all into it. So I think it's apply central impulse is actually what we want. Apply central impulse applies a directional impulse without affecting rotation. So you want to give a vector which is an actual vector. So we want to do apply underscore central impulse, and then we want to do vector2 dot right dot rotated rotation, and then times I don't know, let's just do 100. See how that works. So essentially what we're doing is this will be just equal to where we're aiming. This is the direction, and then we're multiplying that times an amount. So it's 100 in some direction is that. Maybe let's make this 1,000. See how that works. Does that not work to shoot anymore? What's going on here? Why didn't that work? Oh, because I'm not calling the shoot function. There we go. Oh, that's weird. Why is... That's very weird. Because position 2D dot global position. Huh. Oh, is it because it's... That's weird. Maybe we need to do this after it's added. Yes, that's so dumb. Of course. You need to do that after it's added. Oh, no, maybe that doesn't have anything to do with it. Why is it scaling? But I mean, you can see though that it's got a nice parabolic arc. I just don't really understand why the hell it's spawning over there and also massive. Yeah, why is that? Okay, what if I do this and then do it? Is it still spawning over there? Yeah. That's really weird. Yeah, what? That's way weird, dude. Oh, it probably has something to do with that, because, okay, let's do this then. We don't need that. Oh, let's try that. There we go. Okay, cool. Now we can do this. I still think it's probably better to do that after we actually spawn it, though. Yeah, so you can see we're getting a nice parabolic arc here, and then I can go ahead and make this like 10,000. Wow, that's a lot. Make it 5,000. The reason I always do call deferred on add child, this is actually a recent change in my style of programming, is that you've probably had this happening in your experience. If not, it will probably happen to you one day, that you'll use add child or some other kind of thing, and particularly with that method, and it will say like cannot run while flushing queries or something like that, blah blah blah, because you're calling it on a physics process step that is important. Now with doing anything that is like creating a child, typically it's fine to do call deferred on that instance, and then you're basically not going to have that error ever. So particularly particularly the add child function is better to be used with call deferred, from my knowledge, and also that's like essentially they're considering, as I believe, making add child just by default a call deferred, or at least they'll say queue add child, just like so free, and that's what I was explaining before. Like you can free something by doing free, right? But that people were using this so just blatantly that it was causing some issues, right? They weren't doing call deferred free. So that's why now no one really uses free unless, like, sometimes I use it when I'm making plugins, but that's about it. Typically you want to use, right, queue free, because that will put it at the end of the physics process queue, which is preferable. So in this case, yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. And I just want to see if this is, oh my God, that's still massive. Let's do 2,000. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice parabolic arc, man. Yeah, that's very nice. See it comes down, well, let's do that. Yeah, that's nice. And then of course it'll stop. We can mess with that, but that's how you do that. That's not too bad, not whatsoever. Yeah, so that's the question, Nostalgic Leaf. That's what I want. Okay, so I need to make it rigid body and change the weapon fire script to create the shell and apply impulse. Yes, and make sure you do apply central impulse, because if you do apply impulse, what happens, I actually don't really understand these that much, but this is like going to apply it at some point, like with the offset, applies positioned impulse to the body, because these can rotate, right? So if you apply an impulse, you have to choose where you want it to. So you actually could just put this, so apply center impulse, I don't know if they've got it, is the same thing as specifying that the offset is exactly equal to the center of the rigid body, or basically I think according to the collision shape. So, yeah, because all the physics are calculated based upon the collision shape. So, for instance, we would say this has a radius of, let's just say it's 40, right? So that means you would specify that the impulse is applied at 2020, right? Right? Yeah, 2020 should be right there. That's probably not right, but anyway, that's the point. And then so if you put, like, for instance, if we put this 20 in the X and 0 in the Y, then it would just push this way, or it would like go this way, but it would spin, because we're essentially putting a vector impulse. Well, why am I all zoomed out here? Right. So if the direction of the impulse is like this way, right? So say we've got a vector pointing that way, and we apply the impulse right here, it'll do exactly what you think. It's like if it's a ball, if you're holding a ball, and instead of hitting it dead on, I kind of go like that to it. It's going to go up, but then it's going to spin like this, right? And then also go like that. So anyway, central impulse is probably what you want for any kind of bullet or something like that. Just to be clear. And then it's also really cool because if you're trying to knock down stuff, like we can make Angry Birds pretty easily right now, honestly. In fact, maybe I just will real quick. So I'll add a rigid, is it rigid body 2D? I guess I'll also add a static body 2D. To this I'll add a collision shape, and then a sprite. Guess what I'm going to use for the sprite? You guessed it, the faithful Godot icon here. Okay, and then I'll set the transform scale in the X to 10, and then we'll set the collision shape here to be a square, and then we want this to be like that big. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, then I'll grab this and we'll call this, I'll go ahead and do, where is it? I haven't used this in a while. So we'll call this ground, like that. And then I'll go ahead and put this like over here. Actually, I kind of want to do this and put the gun down here as well, like kind of more in the center. And then we'll call this, I don't know, pin. Okay, and then to this, we'll add a collision shape. And then we'll also add a sprite. Okay, and then again, we'll do that. Okay, and then what I want to do is go transform scale X 1.5, Y, we'll make that 6. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is change the pivot offset. Well, actually, it doesn't matter for the pivot offset on this in particular, but we'll go ahead and do for the collision shape here. Go ahead and add a square shape like this. Add a little something like that. Oopsies, so I'm gonna do that. I would like to. Why is it? Oh, there. Okay, it is doing that. Okay, cool. There we go. So we want to make that, and then I'll also change the visibility here so we can make this like some kind of pin. That's fine. That's like a nice pin color, right? Okay, and then, so this will be our pin. We'll go and put this like right here, and then we can try and knock that over. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how well that's gonna work, but we'll give it a shot. You might wanna do some kind of other body. Yeah, Spectre, that's exactly what's happening. So essentially, when you queue something or call deferred something, or there's also set deferred if you want to set a property, that actually happens to me a lot when I'm trying to do, for instance, to disable a collision shape at runtime. It always, you have to do like set deferred, otherwise you get issues every once in a while. And so what that does is it puts it at the end of the stack for that one physics frame. So it essentially wait till the next physics frame. And yeah, so basically the way you said it, it defers the execution of what you call deferred or set deferred till the next physics frame. And potentially 2 physics frames, although that's very, very rare. You have to have a lot going on for that to be an issue. And if it is, then you prioritize that and then disable, you try to fix the other things in your game that are causing that not to happen, because you should never really be in that instance, right? Is that it for this thing? Can I just hit it? I might be able to just freaking hit that thing now. Yeah, look at that. There we go. There's Angry Birds, folks. Oh, you know why? Or something I wanted to do here. Let's see. I guess I can't. Can I set an offset to that? Does that matter? There should be like a pivot point you can set on this, because I want the pivot to be down here, right? But yeah, anyway. So that's that. I mean, there's Angry Birds in a game. So the ball does not bounce, but anyway. Wait a second, where's the, oh, I'm making the ball. Okay, so if I go here to projectile, I think there's a way to add bounciness to it. Linear, angular, applied forces. Can sleep. Sleeping is nice. If you don't know what that is, contacts reported, continue with CD. Gravity scale, oh, that has almost everything to do with the gravity scale. I'm pretty sure. That's kind of annoying. So what you'll probably need to do is if it hits the ground, apply an upward central impulse, which kind of sucks that you have to calculate that yourself. Maybe you could, oh, you could just change the default gravity, but I think you'd still have the same problem. I think you can, maybe it's in here, new physics material. Oh, there we go. There you can change the bounciness. So absorbent, friction, rough. Friction of the object marked as rough. Yeah, frictionless to maximum friction. I don't know if we want maximum, but let's put like 1 bounciness. Just see how this rolls now. I'm very interested. Oh my God, look at that. That's sick. That's fucking sick. Look how easy that is to do. That's insane. That's why I love Godot, man. Like, I could literally make an Angry Birds clone in probably like an hour. Like not functional all the way to finish, but I can make like a gameplay loop, you know? That's like probably what I'm expecting when I shoot that ball. A little bit of bounce like that. And then of course we can just do that. So anyway, that's to answer your question and to just have a little fun with it we've made. That's why Angry Birds is fun, because I mean, it's also just fun playing something you made, but literally just like knocking that over is fun to me. Let's hit it. Boom. I want to see if I can, you know, there's like no way I can get that right on that pad, huh? Dang it. Come on, a little bit. Oh no, yeah, there's no way. Unless I upped the speed. Oh, but I could, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do all that. But you could like make a scale to see how far you want to, or how hard you want to shoot things. Oh, add friction to the standing piece. Okay, check that out. I want to see what Spectre said. Mostly you need to do that if you add colliders inside the physics process, because Godot doesn't like you fiddling around with the physics world while it's getting processed. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because, so, it wants to know, essentially it's the same thing as movement. You would literally just put the, oh, I don't know, maybe you weren't responding to me, but, I mean, yeah, so the whatever you put in apply central impulse is going to be applying like in physics, when we think of vectors, what they mean is that, like speed, for instance, like miles per hour, this might be way too much, but speed, for instance, like I was going X kilometers kilometers per hour or miles per hour, right? And then that doesn't tell you what direction you're going in. Whereas a vector would tell you both the speed, your miles per hour, and the direction. I was going 100 miles per hour north in a white Bronco, right? And so that would tell you everything about what direction you're going, the direction speed. So that, essentially the apply central intervals takes that. It needs an amount and a direction. So what I'm doing right here is I'm saying the direction times the amount I want to go in that direction. And that's exactly how we do movement, right? Is we say what direction times that, and that's why in, for instance, basic player, we have input vector, which is our direction, and we're just saying it equals, oh, I guess we're doing it a little differently here, but we're saying our direction times an amount that we want to move in that direction, and that equals our velocity. So it's the same thing right there for the gun, right? Direction times amount. Yeah. I don't think this needs to be normalized. Let's just do it though. Maybe it does. Because otherwise you can get like slight increased. Let me go ahead and add that friction there. Let's do rough. Absorbent. What does absorbent mean? It subtracts the bounciness from the colliding object's bounciness instead of adding it. Hell yeah. Okay. Very little bounce. Let's give this a shot. Now what does it look like? I think that has to do with the weight though. So let's go into here and, oh, there's no way to do weight? Oh no, I'm dumb. I messed with the total wrong thing. We want to do pin. Yeah, physics material, new physics material. Rough, that's good. Absorbent, yes. Weight, let's do like 50. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, look at that. And you could play around with that and definitely get that. Kill it, finish him. Oh, that would have been so sick if I just smacked his butt down there. One more. Angry Birds, folks. Get him. Oh, okay. Anyway, yes. So that is that's how you would do that. Really great question. Thanks for that. I'm glad I could clear that up. But Godot, again, is like, so this, Godot is a game engine, which literally means that it is made to make games. So like shooting something that you want to fall in a parabolic arc, you have to think, is that something that's been done before? And the answer is like, yeah, a lot of times. A lot of games have shooting something that falls in a parabolic arc. Thus, Godot has thought of that, and they've built things into the engine that will do that for you, right? With very, very little programming knowledge or anything like that, as exemplified by this. Now, I personally like to program, so I typically don't take the easiest way to do things. A lot of times, I'll try and make them the way I want to do them because I just think that's fun, and then I get a little more flexibility. And with the physics stuff, Godot does very well. The only thing that Godot's built-in stuff does not do that well with, in my opinion, are the UIs, which I think just need a lot of work. Like the basic UIs work great, but all the more complex built-in features like the tab system, and the pop-up menu, and all that stuff is I think if I just program it, it works better. So yeah. Anyway, Andrew Godots. True. I actually have a Godot. Let me go ahead and whip this up. I've been trying to play around with this project. As you saw, the way I got this rigid body thing in here is I have this project called Godot Man. And here it is. And I don't even have a default scene right now. But so I've got, this is Godot Man. It's a character I drew. Oh yeah, I forgot. I made it so that it aims based upon lots of issues with that, but it still doesn't work. Oh no, I did get it to work that way, but yeah. So now it shoots like that. Anyway, so I thought that was cool. It's Godot Man. I definitely need to fix the way his head works, but I don't know. I think that looks pretty cool. And so the idea was that I don't know. I don't know if this would ever be in a game. I just wanted to make a Godot Man and make it so that everything he encountered. And I also wanted to learn a little more about making a animated character that runs along the screen and stuff like that. Yeah, so the head is the biggest problem. So like you can see here, if I do something like this, it actually works really, really well, right? And then even if I go like this, I mean, that's a problem. But then the other problem is this. So now if I go here, it goes all the way around back, which I don't really know how to fix because the way I'm doing this is I'm lerping. So you can see that it's not just snapping up to one of those. So if I go like this and then go down, you can see that it's a smooth transition. I'm using the keys to do this, by the way, right? Not my mouse. And so I'm lerping to that position. But when you do this, right, in order to get up to here, what you have to do is actually go backwards around the unit circle in order to get there. So it would be kind of like ugly programmatically wise to kind of force it to go the other way in that specific position. And it would be just really hard to do. It'd be essentially like when I press this, lerp from whichever is closest, either this way or this way, which is just, you know, I could do that, but it's ugly. I don't really want to do that, right? So I digress. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. And then pretty cool little effects there. And you can't really see it, but these bullets have nodes, like node 2Ds inside of them. The idea here was that let's go projectile, bullet, I called it bullet. They've got a node 2D in the center of them. And the idea was that, or it was supposed to be that the node, I wonder if I can just, yeah, let's just get rid of this and see how it looks now. It's less obvious. Maybe if I just make this like black almost, I just do this, do that, and then do this. Yeah, you can see that way better now, actually. So now we've got a little, you can see the nodes being shot. That's the whole point, is like Godot man, he shoots node 2Ds. And all your enemies are gonna be, so I started making one enemy. It's not gonna be like a real game, I just thought it'd be fun to do. So this is like one enemy, I haven't even started making it, but he like does this and he's got psychic attacks and the eyes can like open or close and stuff like that. It's animations, and then the mouth can like open and close like this. So I thought that was an interesting little thing. Oh yeah, actually this one looks better like this. I think that looks kind of cool. Yeah, anyway, that's that. Just thought I'd show that off, I thought it was cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop into some other questions. I don't even know how long I've been streaming because it does not seem to tell me on here, which is annoying, and someone else always has to let me know. Oh, I think it tells me on OBS. Does it? Yeah, I've been live for 2 hours and 37 minutes. That's pretty good. I think I should go longer though, but let's go see. I'll only answer a question if I think it's, if any of you give me a question, I will 100% answer it or try to give my best to answer it no matter what. But as for the Godot Q&A, I'm just gonna pick one I think is interesting, fun, or you know, would actually be really helpful to show people. I'm sorry for laughing, but like, I want to make a button that will talk the visibility of a panel. Is this positive university interface scene, and do I need to make some changes? Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna answer this. Just use. Ugh, I'm not gonna type it out. I can't. Okay, how to change render distance, passing object to variables. It's like, but if you don't know how to do this, you shouldn't be asking questions on here. You should be taking like my intro to GDScript course or like following Heartbeat's tutorial, because you don't know how to do much if you don't know how to do that, honestly. That's like, no offense to people, but like you really need to, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but like really like, you know, you shouldn't just come on and like, like, hey, teach me how to like GameDev on Godot Q&A. What you should do is try to do what you're trying to do, fail at it, and then be like, yo, I can't figure this out, and then someone else helps you. That should be the process, right? And that's how you learn. If you just ask everyone else to solve your problems for you, you're never gonna get anywhere. That's my point. I'm not trying to be a dick. So, apologies. Have rules here changed? I'm interested. This might be a long post. Hey guys, Calendar recently did a bunch of my posts, which were under gossip and definitely followed the rules. But I hit posts that were no longer relevant now that we have a proper forum. Back when the skinny was good. Ah, interesting. Okay, how can I implement a fake Z-axis in 2D? That's interesting. Signal from instance probably emitted. Let's check it out. Various NPCs are traveling. Looks like this. It doesn't look like they connected it. Yeah, someone just had to let that know. That's like a funny thing about Signals is a lot of the, like GD Quest and a lot of the bigger guys, yeah, exactly. Like if you literally look up the thing in the documentation, I mean, that's why I try to keep telling people you can do that, because 90% of the questions, especially on like the more simple stuff, like, you know, how do I get this thing to move? On the simple things, the documentation is very good. And it's like, your question will be answered very simply. If you're like, how do I make this thing move? You could literally quickly breeze through this, come look down at these things, and see immediately these functions and know, oh, that's how I move one of these bodies. If someone's like, I don't know how to make my rigid body move. It's like, it kind of, the reason I guess it's irritating to me is because I feel like you're not really putting any effort in, and I know that, like, you are wasting both your and my time because you are not gonna learn by just asking me to solve your problems. You know what I mean? Anyway. Instance transform bases the speed as the impulse, but it worked. Yeah, awesome, dude. I'm glad you figured that out. And but of course, this is actually cool. Let's see, fake access in 2D. Did I just click on this? A top-down action RPG that's in 2D but tries to emulate 3D. I chose 2D because I wanted to have tile maps, pixel perfect rendering, and the kind of perspective that you'll never achieve in 3D, not even with orthogonal camera. So saying might be easier just to do it in 3D is not an option. So for my collision detection, the player's layer is determined based on the position of the character and its base area. The character also has a layer 3D that helps manage overlapping collisions. Now, since I'm planning on having quite a lot of platforming games, some part of me thinks having a level collision take up almost half of all the available layers is a terrible idea. It is, but I just don't know any other options. So I use collision layers as a mask, but the player's layer is determined based on the position of the character and its base area. Based on the position of the character and its base area. Oh. Yeah, also layers aren't intended to be used like that besides talking. Yeah, so what you should do typically is like, if you have, for instance, enemies on a layer, you would just do layer enemies, right? And then on all your enemies that you make in the script, you would, for instance, do something like var enemy type, or even constant, you know, type even, but you spell it right. Type equals 1, right? And then you'd have like 6 different types of enemies, and then you could check always when you collide with that enemy if, you know, enemy.type equals this, then you change your behavior based upon that. And that's how I would do it, at least. I think that's typically a pretty good way to do things, and I use that with bullets all the time. You know, if they hit, I basically have them collide with stuff, and I have that surface as type. If it is like a wall, they explode. If it is like, you know, a shield, then they bounce, right? That's basically it. Creating bullets at some pixels before the player. I made the background transparent, and now I want to do stuff. Get tree, get root, set transparent background true. Project settings, window, per pixel transparent, both checked. I want to be able to run Godot at full screen, exactly like in this video. This actually might be really freaking cool. If this is what I think it is, oh my God. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. That is so sweet. That is so freaking cool, you guys. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. What is this? What is this guy doing? Yep, that's freaking so cool. Yeah. Yeah, that one doesn't bother me that as much, because I know that in that case they're actually just like unaware of the like appropriate way to ask questions, right? Like Cal Forth the Great Masters, Godot engine. Whereas like, you know, if you just say like, if he said this and didn't even put this, I would be like, what the heck? This is, you know, this is pretty good. I want to be able to run Godot at full screen, do other stuff in the background exactly like in this video. I'm going to be doing something with this because that is so freaking cool. What I think I want to do here is actually try doing exactly what we did. So function underscore ready, and then what is this? So get tree root dot set. I don't know why it's like this. So we do get underscore tree dot get underscore tree. Maybe you just don't do that. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe it's just get tree root. Alright, why you do these? Get underscore. Yeah, how do you get tree root? Dot get underscore. Oh, yeah, I forgot that in Go 3.0 there's a lot of, or 3.3 there's a lot of issues. So get underscore tree. Oh, no, there we go. It's just dot tree root. Tree underscore root, right? Get underscore tree. Sure. Wait, that's only an animation tree? Yeah, that's what I want. Tree root. Oh, then maybe it's just root. Scene tree, yeah. Dot root. Okay, and then is it viewport set transparent background? Get root. Yeah, there's no get root, right? Oh, there is. No, but that's actually wrong. That's for this, which is a control node. Yeah, that's not what we want. Okay. Transparent. Okay, so color transparent, blah, blah, blah. Blank transparent. Viewport, transparent. Visual server, viewport set transparent background. Okay. It's true, the viewport renders its background as transparent. Hell yeah. Let me just yoink that real quick. Let's also see, so this is visual server, so we can't call that, I don't think. Oh, it's just inherits object. All right, let's see if that yells at us. Probably will. Yep. Invalid call non-existent viewport such as in base viewport. Okay. Transparent background. Oh, there we go. That's why. Okay. Okay. Nope, not working. Maybe on export that would work? Yeah, that might only work on export. Maybe. Maybe. Or maybe it's because I have auto loads? Let's see. Auto load. Nope. Okay. Okay. I'm very interested now, so I need to go ahead and export this. So the way you do that, I think you need Command E, which is cool. So do add, I'll export for Mac OS X. We'll export project, and then okay, and then we'll click save. Okay. done yet. I need it to be done. I'm very excited. That's not what I want to do. Is it this? There we go. Okay. Does export transparent? Oh, that's not going to work at all because we don't have a main scene set. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Now we'll do man E and then export project. This would be freaking cool if this works. Yeah, like, also, like, it's pretty easy to just take a screenshot of what the heck's going on. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That again, I do think that there's a difference between laziness and just not being aware of how you should format your questions. And it's hard for me to tell sometimes which is which. Like, this guy probably could have phrased this better. I don't think he's, like, too lazy. But I want to be able to run and do other stuff inside in the background exactly like this video. I mean, maybe it is lazy, we'll see, because if this works, then he's lazy. Yeah, why the hell is that not, why is that not transparent, bro? Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Set turn, get tree dot root. Oh, whoa, okay. Project settings, general, saying, window. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Where is it? Per pixel transparency. Allowed and enabled. Okay. Now it should just work actually, right? Oh, that's so freaking cool. Wow. Wow. Dude, yeah, I don't know if anyone else didn't know about that, but I had no idea you could do that, and that is very, 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 very cool. Yep. Oh, except that's I don't want that. I'd rather, I think I've got this. No, this. There we go. Wow, dude, that is so sick. That's actually like, I don't even know if I really want to make a game out of that, although you definitely could, and it would be freaking sweet. What my idea is, I've actually been wanting to make like some kind of organizational helpful app out of this, and or like I want to make like a calendar type app that's you know, a lot to do with productivity, and this would be very, very cool if I could do that. Now I'm wondering if I go ahead and, well, I mean, I guess I might as well say that let's go to, I'm gonna say, don't know what you mean by stuff, but I just used this in my, gave this a shot on stream here. Okay, and then let's go YouTube. Okay, I'll add that answer there. Yeah, but that's definitely very cool. I'm interested to see if I do this and then run this, it's going to, yeah, so it has the background. And then, so that's really cool. So if anyone didn't know about that, yeah, energy saving. So let's keep screen on. You gonna tell me? If true, keeps the screen on even in case of inactivity, so the screensaver does not take over. Works on desktop and mobile platforms. I'll probably turn that off if I were to make that. But it's very cool. That's very, 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 very cool. Yeah, I would definitely have a lot of fun doing that. And also, like, I don't know if you can do OS notifications. Let's see, Godot notification Mac OS. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't think. Ah, see, that's not what I want. I don't think that's, yeah, I don't think any. Yeah, okay, let's see. Send OS notifications. Oh, there we go. Support for sending desktop notifications. 2016, that means they probably did it, folks. Let's see. It would be better if this feature can handle local notification for Android and iOS too. Update, this issue is still relevant as of, okay, I have proof of concept. Oh, look at that. 2020, Calanu has a proof of concept. These guys are fucking smart, dude. Like, I have no idea how you figured that out. I have proof of concept for this feature right here. Oh, it's an add-on? Oh my God. It is currently implemented on Linux and Windows. Fuck. Mac. It works perfectly on Linux, but on Windows, the notification, blah, blah, blah. Damn it, so he's never gonna do it. No one's ever gonna do this for Mac. Feature and improvement pros for the Godot engine are now being discussed and reviewed in a dedicated Godot improvement pro. The structure of the JP has detailed issue template, blah, blah, blah. And he closed this. Superseded by that, okay. So I'm imagining this whole, yeah, the whole thing is written in C++. So I'll never get that. Yep. That would be really cool, though. But I do think I could probably figure out a little sketchy way to do this. Because I know in Python you can do that, and I know you can like activate Python scripts. So I can include a Python script into my game file and then have this run that Python script and provide it with an argument. I think, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that right now because no one cares about that. But yeah, okay. Let's check some of these out. New questions. And now I want to do stuff. Cool. Graph edit, creating swim lanes that stick to the grid. Hi guys, it's supposed to create objects that would stick to the graph edit grid just like graph nodes do, but with, oh, I don't even know what that is. Let's check that out. Ooh. Graph edit is an area capable of showing various graph nodes. It manages connections, connection events between them. Wait a second, I might actually really want this. Okay, and I'm assuming we can go to background and make this transparent. Yeah. Okay. All right, okay, all right, okay. That's weird that you can even do this. Like, because I think they've said like you shouldn't do data analysis with Godot. So that's weird. Oh, I guess I think they want like really hardcore like physics simulations, but this is probably easy to do. Right disconnect. Let's check this out. So my idea with this is essentially that I wonder if I could use this to kind of use it in conjunction with A-star pathfinding. Gotta run the lady to an appointment. Great stuff as usual. Keep it up. Thank you, Nostalgic Leaf. I think I'm probably about to turn in because no one's asking questions. There's not really anything too interesting on here. Although, let's see. Title, offset, blah, blah, blah. Clear all shots, slots. Good connection, input color. Because I wonder how this works. A graph node is a container. Each graph node can have several input and output slots, sometimes referred to as ports, allowing connections between graph nodes. Interesting. To add a slot to graph node, add any control-derived child node to it. After adding at least one child to graph node, new sections will be automatically created in the inspector called slot. Okay, cool. So what if we add a color rect, right? Use snap. Okay. Now what if I do this and I try to move the node? Is it gonna snap? Why isn't it snapping anywhere? Graph edit. It's weird. Snap distance 20. 100. Oh, okay, now each of these is 100. Use snap on. Minimap enabled. Oh, I want to make that on. You can, okay. After, because this is actually kind of cool. This could, basically, I did this in 2 episodes ago where I snapped movement to the grid. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if you could do this, and we could honestly make this transparent. We could do self-modulate and make this transparent and just make children of this graph node, and then they would just snap automatically, which would be kind of cool. I'm just interested. Let's go back here. To add a slot to add any control-derived child to it. After adding at least one child to graph node, new sections will be automatically created in the inspector called slot. Why am I not seeing that? I'm not seeing a slot, baby. Custom constants, maybe? No. Custom icons, theme, size flags, input. Pass on modal mouse click, mouse focus. I mean, I wouldn't expect to see anything here, but it is weird to me that, oh, maybe it's because it's not saved? Let's do that. Let's do this. Actually, I don't even want to put it in the QA session anymore because it's not there, technically. So we'll just go to test. Okay, save. Huh. I mean, this should work, but I don't think it, I just think it doesn't work. That's the only thing I can think of at this point, because otherwise it said just literally, each graph node can have several inputs and outputs slots, sometimes referred to as ports, allowing connections between graph nodes. To add a slot, several input and output slots referred to as ports, allowing to add a slot to a graph node, add any control-derived child node to it. After adding at least one child to graph node, new sections will automatically be created in the inspector called slot. When slot is expanded, you'll see, yeah, there's no slot. So I think that's a fail. You can click on each of them to expand further. Nope. Inspector, you can enable show or disable hide slots. By default, slots are disabled, so you may not see any slots on your, oh, fudge me. Okay, you can assign a type to each slot. Wait, where is this though? Where do you see, oh, is it custom constants? Come on, give me minimap, snap, custom styles. Oh, is this, because this is not the right thing. Add a graph node, huh? Wait, right? Am I stupid? Yeah, graph node, okay, yeah, okie doke. So we'll do this, and we'll say full rect. Very interesting. Okay, and then now, well, I'll go to custom styles. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, and we'll add a color rect. Now if we go here, there we go. Now we have the slots tab, 0, left enabled. Oh, because it's a container, so I need to go to rect and then min size and set this to like 100 by 100. Wow. Okie doke, that's weird. Okay, So I don't want left enabled, left type, left color, right enabled. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get how this works. I don't think so. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly refer him to the other thing. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm thinking create a program board type thing where you have teams down the left vertically in sprints horizontally. Then you could create tasks and drag them to team lanes on the board and link them to show dependencies, etc. The challenge is that the lanes would have to always be behind the graph nodes. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that alone because I don't exactly know the answer to that. All right. Well, anyway, so I'm getting pretty tired, and no one's popping any questions in the chat. So I'm actually from California originally, but I live in New York right now, in Long Island. So yeah, that's, you know, I haven't even been here a year because my girlfriend just started medical school here, and then I'll be starting medical school in like August, September. I don't know for sure, honestly. I should probably care more, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's gonna be about it for today. I really appreciate everybody coming out and watching. Thank you for everybody who dropped some stuff down in the chat, and everyone who just lurked, you know, and I'm happy to have you here. You know, maybe think about next time I do this, I will schedule it again, and I'll try to make sure it is public. And then you can go ahead and come and drop one like Matthew did today early, and then I'll prepare and make sure I've got a really good redefined. Yeah, I can make sure I've got like a really good answer to your question. I think that'd be cool. Also, again, try and join. I don't know why it wouldn't let Nostalgic Leaf join, but I'll pop my invite link in here again to my Discord community. Why is the world so hard? Invite people. Okay. Copy. And then I'll stick this right down here. Thank you, Paul. You gave me something to do, or Matthew, I'm sorry. You gave me something to do during this stream, which is cool. I think answering yours was probably the most enjoyable part, because I actually think I'm going to use the slow-mo thing. Oh my God. Okay, I lied. I have to do one more thing before I'm off stream. I'm sorry. I need to check this out because, okay, so essentially what we did is when I made the slow down thing, where is it? It's basic player scene. And if we go into here, or no, it's gonna be in the projectile, player bullet scene, right? So we're slowing 4 or 5 seconds. And I want to know if you can put this as -1, or we'll say like negative, yeah, let's do -1.0. I wonder if you can change the negative time, or the time to be negative. Because that would be really interesting. I think this is just not going to work, but you know. Oh, actually, we have to go to the test world, which should be in here. Yeah, I want to put this in basic player. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's run this. Woo! Woo! That is cool. So you can reverse time. I don't know if I'm going to jam. Whoa. My controls are messed up now. Oh, because nothing ever... No, that shouldn't have... Whoa, that's weird. That is really weird. Okay. I mean, yeah, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. But, yeah, that could be cool. Maybe I could mess around with that and figure out how to make that better. But, yeah. For right now, we'll just leave it like that. Anyway, anywhooser, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. That's gonna be it for this episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you thought I was entertaining. And yeah, remember that the GitHub is gonna be right here. The Godot jam. Oh, to answer, so it looks like it reversed time, but somehow I broke the game. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But so the Godot game jam, and we'll go ahead and rock on over to that page here. So we've got 360 people joining, which is great. It's gonna be a great first game jam for anybody who has never done it. A lot of people are doing this for their very first time. It's gonna be really cool to see what gets made out there and to be able to help a lot of people who join this game jam. If you've never made a game before, just try to do it. My very first game jam, I didn't finish, but I learned so much that I kind of killed my second game jam, where I made really the first game I ever finished, where there was a gameplay loop. And it was, still one of my favorite games. So highly recommend that. Oh, interesting. So am I going to jam? I don't know for sure yet. I gotta see, I think we have to do streams during the event. I might enjoy it more just to kind of be a part, do these Q&A streams to kind of help people. I would love to be there, and if people who are in their first stream want to come here and ask me questions, I can help them make their games. I think that would be really cool. I also don't know if I really want to put my own game into the jam, considering I'm gonna be rating the games, even though conflict of interest type of thing, and then people know who I am. My game is gonna get watched, or at least viewed, and probably voted on more than the other games, which puts it at an unfair advantage or disadvantage. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know for sure. There's another jam called the 90-day and ship it jam. So it's a 3-month-long game jam, where that's kind of more what I want to do. I have gotten past the point where I just want to keep making a bunch of really small games to try out concepts, even though I do. But there's a few I've gotten written down. But there is something that I want to make. It's a real project, and I think I probably could do it in 3 months. So I might do that and start working on that, and then I'll do that along with this, as well as make some more cool tutorials before I start med school. I want to do some bullet tutorials on a lot of really interesting ways you can make bullets and projectiles in Godot that I've learned. And then I think I want to do an intro to signals, an intro to tweens, and then start a new video series called either Get to Node Godot or and Now You Node. Yeah, Now You Node. I think I'm going to go with Now You Node, and essentially we'll be exploring a bunch of kind of little known functions and nodes in Godot, and I think it'll be great for me to learn, but also to share with other people. So anyway, sorry, I know I said I'd leave 10 minutes ago, but I enjoy you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with the extremely loud trailer. So actually, no, I won't, because it's too loud. Anyway, this is May 24th. It starts May 24th, so I'll tell you that. And then, yeah, I'll see you later.